I will never leave you.
If you want a battle, then I'll take it to the street where there's no rules. Take hold the gloves, rip trees to down. Gotta prove my skills, so get down. My lyrical depth to roll battle, smack down now. Gotta shoot to kill, I shoot to skill. Don't you be afraid, man's gotta do how it feels. 67 to 8 to 9, 10. I flip the script to make it to the top 10. Go. Shit, thoughts provoke the new era. Become a bit terror, but my only rival is my shadow. We run the play back and fix my own error. Get low to the ground, it's getting better like I told you before. Double up a dead road cheddar. L to the J, say stay late. Spin my car, me boy a flush, and I'm the ace.
Oh, why did my camera not turn on? Hello, welcome back everyone. How's it going? Yeah, we're back with some Miles Edgeworth investigations. It's been a bit since we last why is my camera angled wrongly? There you go. Yeah, it's been a while since we last played, but since we finished, you know, in between cases, it was fine. But yeah, let's get to it. Yeah, let me just try to remember. Yeah, so the next case. Oh, okay. So the next case we're gonna do is apparently a flashback to a case that Edgeworth had at the beginning of his career, where he supposedly met Kay for the first time, and I think he maybe actually met Gumshoe for the first time there as well. I'm not actually 100% on that, but I think I remember that. So that'll be interesting. But then I had a bit of an idea. I'm terrified because Manfred von Karma is still alive, and I feel like if you're making a game about Miles Edgeworth and you're gonna be going into the past, is Von Karma gonna show up? Oh no. Yeah, I'm not ready for that. Oh, my vocal cords are not ready for that. Not at all. Not at all. And of course today I made the terrible decision because I just finished eating dinner, so I still am drinking my fucking Coke. I didn't make any tea for myself today. And if we're about to be doing a Von Karma voice, that's a bad idea. I should be drinking tea right now, not fucking Coke. But here we are. I am regretting my life decisions, but we're gonna continue forward nonetheless. And you know what? Worst case scenario, we'll take a break, a couple of hours in, and I'll go make myself some tea if I need to rescue my vocal cords. You know, just emergency rescue, but hopefully it won't come to that. But anyways, let's get right back into it. We're obviously going to start the trial from the beginning. So let me actually see who the people here are. So Edgeworth, obviously. Franziska Lang. This is Terminate. Okay, so that's Gumshoe. So yeah, then I'm pretty sure this would be when Edgeworth and Gumshoe first meet. Otherwise, I don't see why they'd use his picture here. Yeah, let's get right to it. Kay Faraday, the young lady who calls herself the second Yatagarasu. A piece of cloth that she conjured up has taken me back to many years ago. 7 years earlier. Right, and so this was the original Yatagarasu case, and the prosecutor got accused, right? Yes, that's right. I did it. I killed the guy. But it was the Great Thief Yatagarasu who told me to do it. I asked the defendant, just what exactly are you trying to say? Don't you get it? I know the true identity of the Yatagarasu. The Yatagarasu is the man standing over there at the prosecutor's bench. Are you saying that I'm the... Don't you dare deny it! You told me to kill him when you snuck into the embassy. Are you claiming that Mr. Faraday is the Yatagarasu? That's exactly what I'm... Mr. Rell, I think we've heard just about enough out of you. Hey, Your Honor, please listen to me. Yeah, I'm telling the truth. You've gotta believe me. This is odd. So I wonder if I'll actually get like a proper courtroom case in this time, as opposed to just
In accordance with the defense's accusation, a new prosecutor shall be called to replace Mr. Faraday. This court will be in recess until the new prosecutor is ready.
God, I miss doing the judge's voice. That one's a fun one. But yeah, I wonder if I'll actually have like a proper like courtroom showdown in this case. Or if, you know, it'll just be a normal investigation, but that'll be interesting. But yeah. So this is obviously related to that, oh my god, he's showing up. Oh, he's definitely showing up. That's the only reason his portrait would be there. Fuck! Oh god. Yo, age 60. My mentor, who has never known defeat in 35 years, legendary prosecutor, and a pain to voice. Oh, God. Oh, I'm not looking forward to this. But yeah, okay, so Yatagarasu breaks into some embassy or something. I need to have another look at that newspaper article. Then this guy, supposedly, on Yatagarasu's orders, kills someone. And then the prosecutor, Faraday, is the Yatagarasu. So obviously Faraday is going to be the father of Kay. Probably. It might be like an older brother or an uncle, maybe. But it's probably her father. And so I'm guessing she's trying to get a hold of the case files from Edgeworth's office. Obviously this being in the future, not right now. In order to try to maybe clear her dad's name? Maybe? That's the only way I can see this going right now. But I guess we'll let's not do speculation. Let's get into it. September 10th, 3:20 p.m. District Court, 3rd floor lobby. So Von Karma is 60. He was 64 in the first game, I want to say. So this is about, I think. I don't fully remember, but I think he was. So this would be... Yeah, okay. September 10th, 3:20, District Floor, 3rd Court Lobby. He got the drip! He got the drip! I don't know why we ever stopped wearing this jacket. It's so fucking good. The gold and everything. It's almost time for me to enter the courtroom. And so it is that my first assignment as a prosecutor will be... Oh, this is his first case. Interesting. I'd forgotten about that. Right, so then this takes place before everything else we've seen from Edgeworth, like the SL9 case and what's that? The first case where he goes up against Mia, and Armando, and that's the case where Dahlia gets the that inmate to kill himself, I think. So this is happening before all of that, and okay. As a replacement for a prosecutor who's been accused by the defendant. Okay. Is this who I think it is? Should I gamble it on the voice? Okay, I'm gonna gamble it. I think this is him.
Edgeworth.
Yep. Sir.
Have you read over all the documents regarding the trial?
Yes, sir. I've memorized everything there is to know.
Very good. The paperwork for the prosecutor's substitution is just about complete. Edgeworth, always bear in mind, as your mentor, I, Manfred von Karma, will accept nothing short of perfection.
I understand, sir. To have the chance to stand in court at such an early stage of my career, I'm honored and proud.
As I've watched over your studies, I'm giving you this very rare chance. Prove yourself. Crush the defendant's pathetic lies into oblivion.
Yes, sir. Oh boy. That's such a legendary prosecutor is watching over and judging my performance. Oh, he's gonna be our courtroom buddy? Also, wait, I just realized if we're actually gonna be in court this time, this is gonna be the first time that we're actually in the prosecutor's bench in the courtroom. Ah, this game is really pushing the fucking boundaries of the Ace Attorney formula to its limits. I fucking love it. I have to be perfect in every way. Okay. Oh, I thought he was gonna follow me. No, Von Karma doesn't follow anyone. I think he should be taller, but whatever. This is also the first time we've gotten to walk around in this this courtroom that we've you know, known and loved for so long. That's just the hallway. What do we have in the organizer? Just my badge. I should lead the defendant lobbies.
Edgeworth, where's your composure? If you wish to take a look at your enemy, do so in the courtroom as you crush him.
Indeed, thank you. You're a man of wisdom and experience, sir. He's also a murderer and like a fucking psychopath, so yeah, there's that. Bookshelf, huh? Compendium of Laws for Beginners. I don't have the time to read this and second guess myself now. Okay, so like a water fountain? Or... No, I think this is the trash can. He's kind of trying to get it open. Oh no, it is a water fountain, I guess.
This is so good! I can drink a whole gallon!
I've never heard of water that tastes that good. Maybe I'll give him a minute. Does he plan on gulping an entire reservoir dry? Excuse me, madam, but is something the matter?
I just thought someone would have brought hors d'oeuvres by now.
But this is a courthouse. It would be quite atypical to provide hors d'oeuvres here.
Are you sure? Someone poured me a fresh cup of coffee last time I was here.
What the heck does she think a courtroom is for? That's definitely Diego! That was definitely Diego, my boy! My boy! The worst prosecutor in existence, but my guys, he's a good boy.
Trial will resume shortly. Please wait a moment, sir.
I was already well aware of that. Shortly or in a moment. Which one is it? Be specific. Oh, it's that one. So that's the courtroom. What's this one?
Where's the prosecutor, sir?
I've got a good eye, if you can tell. I'm a prosecutor with just one glance.
Yes, there are always only prosecutors and defense attorneys in this lobby. I usually hit the mark if I guess one or the other. Well, there's reasons.
You're only guessing? I mean, if it works, you know? God, what a cold stare he's giving me. However, as the disciple of Von Karma, there's no option but to win. He's good. The power of his cold stare rivals my own. He's sleeping while standing up. With his eyes open? What? Okay. Why are you here?
Aren't these great? Daddy makes all of these.
Awesome! Didn't you get fired right after you made them?
Yeah, I did. I spent the same amount of money on this model as it cost me to build the real thing. And my boss wasn't very happy with me.
Daddy, didn't you say you built a secret mechanism inside of it?
I'll tell you about it someday when you're old.
A secret mechanism. Maybe installed that as payback for getting fired. It could be trouble. Now I'm curious. What the fuck? What is this weird side quest they're starting right now? A model of the courthouse. It's pretty well constructed. Hands and a face. Don't tell me this thing transforms. And I wonder for what other purpose they could have been made.
Weezy, it's a mech! He has a... What is happening right now? What the fuck?
Alright, Carmi, what do you got for me? Prosecutor Daddy.
Today's trial should have ended in just 1 minute.
Because the defendant was picked up by the security camera, correct?
Exactly. The killer had the gall to say that he only killed because he was instructed to do so. Even more outrageous is this claim that the case prosecutor, Byrne Faraday, gave the order. Ha! Faraday's such a fool. He's been cornered by his own prey.
Sir, are you an acquaintance with Mr. Byrne Faraday?
Huh. He is a pathetic man who speaks in nothing but nonsense.
Nonsense.
He once tried to explain to me a way of punishing those who cannot be brought to court.
Those who cannot be brought to court? Well, that is nonsense, for no man is above the law. Oh, this is a young Edgeworth who still... He still hasn't learned about the the horrible things that are going down to this, the world's most corrupt prosecutor office and police force. God, imagine if we saw Damon Gant. That would be fun.
Well, there are always a few exceptions. However, there is no reason to even deal with such individuals. A prosecutor is a guardian of the court, one with no obligations to outside matters.
Well, thus, there's no reason to deal with such individuals, I see. Yeah, it just so happens that, maybe lying and making up fake evidence isn't the best way to serve the court. Just maybe. I don't know. Just thought.
Edgeworth, disgracing yourself as Faraday has will not be forgiven.
Have no fear. I will not let you down, sir. I will have a perfect record, and then right will come along, and I'll be too horny to make a rational argument, and I'll lose my first case ever. In place of the accused, Prosecutor Byrne Faraday helped prove the defendant guilty.
Very good. I've secured an hour of recess for you to prepare to do just that. Show them all the power of Von Karma.
Okay, so we are getting a little bit of an investigation to start us off with. Cool, but we might still be going to trial eventually. It is thanks to you that I've finally become a prosecutor, sir.
It's amusing that you wanted to become a defense attorney, yet became my student. It is a strange path you have traveled.
It's true that I had once wanted to become a defense attorney. But now I am honored and proud to be a prosecutor. Yeah, it's so sad because the whole reason why because he wanted to be a defense attorney so that he could, you know, help get innocent people off like his dad did. But then after his dad was murdered by Von Karma, no less, he thought that Yanni Yogi had killed his father and that some sleazy defense attorney had gotten him off scot-free. So because from his perspective, the man who had killed his father had gotten to walk free because of some sleazy defense attorney, even though in reality Yanni Yogi was actually innocent. Edgeworth then started hating defense attorneys and vowed to become a prosecutor so that no guilty person would ever go free ever again. But then in the end he ends up losing his way and learns when going up against Wright, learns that there's more to being a prosecutor than just going for the guilty verdict no matter what. And then, you know, Von Karma tries to frame him for murder, and he learns that his whole reason for becoming a prosecutor in the first place was invalid. It really is crazy, the whole journey that Edgeworth has gone through throughout the games. And I mean, mostly just up until like Rise from the Ashes, because I don't think his character hasn't really changed much after he returns in Turnabout Goodbyes. There are still some, you know, a few small things here and there, but I think for the most part his character arc just finished with Rise from the Ashes, I would say. Oh, where did the chat go? Here we go. Okay.
I see. There's a student of mine. I suggest you remember this well. The prosecutor's badge. It's not to be flaunted. The dignity of a prosecutor lies in the man himself, not the badge.
I understand. I will keep that in mind.
Besides, why put holes in your fine garments? It's simply preposterous.
Prosecutors must also take pride in their appearance. I'll keep this in mind as well.
I'm constantly having to remind the others at the prosecutor office of this. It's more fashionable to keep your prosecutor's badge in your pocket.
Ah, so that's why Edgeworth still keeps it in his pocket to this day. In other words, always treat a prosecutor's badge with care and honor. I understand, sir. That's actually like a pretty decent philosophy from Von Karma. This is actually really interesting because obviously we know that like Von Karma is like has gotten hundreds of innocent people thrown in jail. He's manufactured evidence. He's like, at this point, he's murdered a man, then adopted his son, and like turned him into like the fucking like evil version of his father, and then he's gonna frame that guy for murder. Like, Von Karma has done and will do some pretty fucking terrible stuff, but it is nice that we're actually getting to see because obviously we only ever see Von Karma through the lens of the DL6s, and so it's interesting to see Von Karma here through the lens of, you know, when Edgeworth, you know, still saw him as a respectable prosecutor, because it really, I think, just adds a good layer and some much needed depth to his character, specifically his whole this philosophy that he's talked about here about how, you know, keeping the badge hidden, because, you know, the badge isn't what makes you a prosecutor. You shouldn't flaunt it. Like, yeah, that's really interesting, and it's also interesting to me that even after you know, Edgeworth learns that Von Karma killed his father, then killed, yeah, after learning that, you know, Von Karma, you know, was literally just lying in every single fucking case and just making up evidence to get guilty verdicts, that Von Karma murdered his father, and then that Von Karma tried to frame him for murder. Even after all that's happened, he still holds, at least in, you know, he's completely rejected Von Karma's philosophy of going for that guilty verdict no matter what, right? He's completely rejected that. Even then, he still holds on to that little piece of that one aspect of Von Karma's philosophy, keeping his badge in his pocket. And so I think the fact that even after all that's happened, Edgeworth still holds on to that one little piece of advice, I think it just goes to show that it is legitimately, there are some grains of wisdom within, this man's mad ramblings. It's cool.
So, have you achieved a firm understanding of the case?
Yes, sir. I've memorized everything that is written down in the case files.
Well then, explain the case to me. I want to see if you really know what you're talking about.
Understood. Hey. A murder was committed on September 8th in front of the Courthouse embassy. That's a country we haven't heard of yet. The victim, Mr. Deadman. No! Is that I'm a Gundai's brother? Bro, can you imagine living in the Ace Attorney universe? Waking up every day knowing that your name is Dane Man. And then one day you're gonna get fucking murdered. You're gonna get a fucking cap put in your ass. Just so that some idiot can laugh at your fucking name. I know Ace Attorney have done some really on-the-nose stuff with their fucking names, like Shady Man. Although, admittedly, Shady Man was an alias, not a birth name. So that would have been, that could have been on purpose. But this is too much, man. Why would you name your child that? Oh, my fucking cheeks are hurting. Fuck, I need to stop laughing. Oh, God. Okay. Alright, I'm good. The victim, Mr. Deadman, was a staff member at the embassy. The defendant in this case, Mr. Mackerel, like the fish, was held for questioning the night of the incident as he was deemed suspicious. He was quickly placed under arrest for possession of the murder weapon, a gun. Furthermore, at the time of the murder, the Great Thief Yatagarasu had successfully infiltrated the Courthouse embassy as well. At first claimed Rel that he himself was the Yatagarasu, but that he did not kill Deadman. I wonder what he expected to gain from such a desperate lie.
It's possible that he wants to go down one of the spotlight if he is found guilty. There truly is no limit to people's insanity.
Oh, you wouldn't know about that, wouldn't you, Prosecutor Daddy?
But I digress. Continue, Edgeworth.
Yes, sir. During the trial, the prosecution presented the security footage that captured the murder. The footage clearly showed Mr. Rel as the murderer.
The act of Mr. Rel firing the gun could be clearly seen from the video's visitors gallery.
Upon seeing that, the defendant retracted his statement and admitted to the murder. I did it because I was told to. For the real Yatagarasu burned Faraday.
That sounds about right. However, you've forgotten one thing. While this may appear to simply be the murder of a Courthouse embassy staff member, people are actually referring to it as the second KG-8 incident.
KG-8? The second KG8 incident. I'm very sorry, sir. I fear I've failed to study hard enough.
Well, leave it among the police. It's information that only a select few are privy to.
Could you please enlighten me, sir?
So it's an incident. So the DL6 incident, the SL9 incident, the KG8 incident.
Swear to God, one of these days they're gonna run out of random letter number combinations, and then they'll see. Sir, what do you mean by the second KG8 incident?
In order for me to tell you that, you must first learn about the original case. Take a look at these documents.
This is a 3-year-old newspaper. Have we gotten anything added? Oh yeah, a couple of things. Kay Faraday. Why is he looking at me like that? Prosecutor in embassy staff killing case, accused by Rel of being the Yatagarasu. Dead man, Courthouse embassy staff member, was gunned down in front of the embassy by Rel. Mackerel, embassy staff killing suspect, arrested on suspicion for the handgun he was carrying. Yatagarasu, real identity unknown, claims to be a noble thief infiltrated the embassy. Okay. Jotted down my organizer.
You have heard of the Amano Group scandal before, correct?
The Amano Group? How does he tie into all this? Alright, let me see this. Courthouse embassy staff member Manny Cochin found not guilty. The victim, Miss CCU, shadow over the Amano Group. What's this? Interesting. So a murder happened in the Courthouse embassy, and then a second murder takes place 3 years later. Huh. How does this connect to the Amano? Yes, I have. The secretary of Ernest Amano, the Amano Group's director, was arrested. Ah, so this is when this happened. Under suspicion of smuggling.
Correct. CCU was an employee of the Amano Group, and the sole witness to the smuggling operation. It was she who brought the crime to light. However, Miss Yu was silenced before she could testify in court.
What? So he gets arrested for smuggling. She goes to testify. She gets murdered, probably rubbed off by like the Amano Group, so that she couldn't testify. And then he takes the fall, but escapes from jail and ends up working for Amano once again. And then all those years later, there's the kidnapping thing, and what the fuck is going on here? How does this connect with Yatagarasu though? Wasn't a Courthouse embassy staff member arrested for the murder?
Yes, a Courthouse by the name of Manny Cochin was the suspect. However, due to lack of evidence, the case went unresolved.
Lack of evidence.
If only I was in charge of the case.
Yeah, there's never a... That's kind of suspicious, isn't it? The fact that there's never a lack of evidence when you're in charge of the case. I mean, I'm sure some consider it present, but it's a bit... That's a bit sussy.
I would have done everything in my power to prove his guilt.
Oh, trust me, we know. Make sure that all criminals are found guilty. My mentor really is dedicated.
Faraday was the prosecutor on the case then, and he was as pathetic as ever.
Mr. Faraday was in charge of the KG8 incident as well.
That's right. And now, once again, the victim of the case you're currently assigned to was someone who was scheduled to testify against the smuggling organization.
Mr. Denton. Man, who the fuck
tried to get a man called Dead Man to testify. Like, you should know that, like, a guy's called Dead Man in this world. They've got, like, 2-3 months to live at most. You don't fucking... You don't get them involved in a court case, and that you're just expediting their mice at that point.
Just like last time, the victim was murdered right before he was about to testify.
You're catching on. The victim was murdered just before his day in court against the smuggling operation.
Huh.
Events are occurring at almost exactly the same way as they did in the KG8 incident.
So that's why it's being called the second KG8 incident.
Yes. Yet there's one difference between the two incidents.
And what would that be?
The so-called noble thief that is sending everyone into an uproar. The Great Thief Yatagarasu.
Yatagarasu. I'd better find out more. If it is true that the Yatagarasu showed up at the Courthouse embassy, what could he or she have been after?
No doubt to steal any suspicious accounting records and release them publicly. Or more likely to steal secrets from the Courthouse embassy itself, since the item that the Yatagarasu stole from there was sent to the police.
What was it the Yatagarasu sent to the police?
I don't know the details. Anything related to the Yatagarasu is getting the top secret treatment. Still, I find it very ironic. By returning the stolen item to the police, it was proof positive that the Yatagarasu had infiltrated the embassy on the same day the staff member was killed. Criminals have a way of incriminating themselves, wouldn't you say?
That would have to be the first time the Yatagarasu has left evidence behind, correct?
Yes, indeed. If you wish to learn more about the Yatagarasu, then I suggest you ask Faraday.
Mr. Faraday?
He happens to be the prosecutor in charge of the Yatagarasu case as well.
If Faraday is actually the Yatagarasu, I mean, it is genius. Become a prosecutor and then literally be in charge of your own fucking case? How does he find the time?
He's the prosecutor in charge of both the KG8 incident and the Yatagarasu case. Mr. Faraday really has a lot on his plate.
And there she is.
What is it, little girl?
You're scary, mister.
She's not wrong about that one. Does you need something?
I want to trade these coins with you.
A fistful of dimes, quarters, and pennies. But it looks like you've exactly $1. Is this what you want?
She's adorable. Thanks, that's exactly what I needed. But what is she up to?
Can that child be here to watch the trial?
How disrespectful for a child like that to be running around inside the courthouse. Does no one have a respect for this country's judicial system anymore?
Well, they let you prosecute, don't they? So there's your answer. Senile old man. Our paperwork for the prosecutor substitution is complete.
Why you? Do you even know how much time there is left before the trial resumes? I'm so sorry. I could have you mopping up the courthouse instead of protecting it in an instant.
That's no bother, sir. Not being completely repaired could prove to be a perfect handicap for me.
A proud one you are.
They're fucking doing the fucking thing to each other. What are they gonna like touch tips? Like, oh no, he's touching.
All right, Edgeworth. Now touch the tip of my staff, and I'll grant you my power.
Yes, sir.
You better collect the evidence from Faraday and prepare yourself. It's time for your debut, Edgeworth.
All right. Yeah, everything seems to be just completely interconnected here, huh? September 10th, 4 p.m., District Court, courtroom number 3. It's rather empty. Where's the defense?
The fuck?
Just what's going on? Why isn't Faraday here yet? How is it possible the defense is not prepared yet either? Really?
Bailiff, where's Mr. Faraday? I'm not sure. I wasn't really paying attention.
This is your job, you fucking numbskull! Oh my god.
Oh, we've never seen the judge walk up to his fucking seat before. He actually has legs?
Ah, you must be the one Mr. Von Karma recommended.
It's my boy.
Oh, he looks so good! His beard is so luscious! Look at him!
I hear this will be your first trial. I look forward to seeing how you perform. Oh, by the way, there was someone celebrating a birthday during the recess. I could have sworn that I had heard a popper going off.
What is happening?
Oh, someone's murdered. Please, Judge, tell me you don't have someone called, like, Murdy Victim in your staff.
Come to think of it, the other day with my grandson.
Sir, it looks like the trial is about to resume. However,
Yes, it will be all but impossible to prove the witness a liar without the evidence from Faraday. What is that blasted buffoon up to?
it's an emergency, sirs.
My boy! He's my boy! Silence! There shall be no yelling in the sacred hall of law.
That is ironic. Oh, that is ironic as hell.
This is like the opposite of fucking Diego Armando's. A defense attorney can't cry until it's all over. And then he fucking cries when, during his fucking breakdown.
There shall be no yelling in a court of law.
Meanwhile, Manfred, 4 years later,
Fucking turning Super Saiyan 3 because he's just been arrested for murder. Twice.
Bailiff, remove the mat from this courtroom at once.
Yeah, but please. Wait, you have to listen. It's an emergency. And defendant lobby number 2, Mr. Faraday and the defendant, the two of them, they're both dead, Your Honor.
What? What?
What?
Oh my god, what? You people have no security in this place. What? Is this entire criminal justice system run by fucking clowns? Are you serious? You can't be serious. At every turn, this fucking entire criminal justice system is somehow the most corrupt, incompetent, everything.
This is truly incredible. I thought we were gonna have a courtroom sequence. Should have known it was too good to be true. Fucking party popper. Number 10, District Court Hallway.
Stay back.
No one's allowed on the crime scene. Period. Who's this guy?
He looks fucking badass. The holes are kind of weird. I mean, it kind of looks like Swiss cheese, but just everything else. Woo!
Just who does this oddball think he is?
This is becoming quite the hotspot.
Isn't she Mr. Rell's defense attorney?
Hey, you! No running in the hallway, pal.
And who are you to tell me what to do? I'll never find out what's going on like this. It's time for some civil discourse.
Okay. I'm to investigate a murder. Great.
So this is back to the defendant lobby. First, I need to get a handle on the situation. Perhaps I should talk to some people. Don't worry, we're getting to it. We're looking around first. Fire extinguisher. If one were to be hit in the head with this, I suppose the victim would lose a memory or two. But so I'd have been foolish enough to be struck by one of these. That's a reference to first case in game 2, right? The one where the Phoenix gets knocked out and loses his memories. That's good. I really appreciate how many references this game has had to the other games in the series. It's great. Girl with balloon. During the recess, she asked me to change some coins for her. Judge and the embassy staff killing case. Okay. So this has been updated. No, things have been updated. The court record has not been updated to reflect the current state of the situation yet. Poster of the judge. There's a slogan of some sort on it. Every strike of my gavel brings the truth closer to me, and my hair further away. Is this a promotional poster for the court or a hair growth product? Judge is just living in a world of his own. I love the man. Defendant lobby number 1 is through here. The incident took place in lobby number 2 next door. I shouldn't allow myself to be sidetracked like this. I better get a move on. Which defendant lobby is the one we're always in when playing as Phoenix? Is it 1 or 2? I don't remember. Can I get a snack? A drink vending machine. Now's not the time to be pondering what kind of drink I want. Come on, I'm sure they have some iced tea. Interesting, they're selling special court-themed food products here. Many of them seem sort of troublesome and suspicious. Objection, I suppose. Any poisoned coffee, maybe? Still a while before that happens. Are those ants? This sofa looks like it's seen its fair share of use. Looks like another part of the courthouse is visible from the window. My eyes have locked with my reflection's eyes in the barred window. As a student of Von Karma, I refuse to back down. He's having a stare contest again. What? I won. Wait, did he just have a fucking staring contest against himself and win? What? Also, by definition, you will always lose a staring contest against your reflection. You might think it's a tie, but it's actually not, because light doesn't travel instantly, right? Because of the speed of light, it might look instant to you, but actually, you will close your eyes just a few milliseconds before your reflection closes their eyes, which means you will always, by definition, lose staring contests against your reflection. It's just the facts. Let's talk to the prosecutor first. Defense attorney. Ugh, defense attorneys. Disgusting. Do you have a minute? You know, I'm not really into talking to people I don't know. Especially at a time like this. I apologize for not introducing myself before bothering you. My name is Miles Edgeworth. I was to take Mr. Faraday's place in court. Edgeworth, huh? Never heard of you. So Faraday's substitute is a newbie, huh? Well, have you know, madam, I've studied under Manfred von Karma. Do not take me for some naive novice. Do not take me for some naive novice. So you're a student of Von Karma. I should have. The sponsored can't get away. Oh, my boy is getting clowned on right now, but to be honest, at this point in his career, he kind of deserves it. Okay, I like her. Also, the justice earrings are cool. Stop right there. These are the garments of one who gallantly presents the facts. Thanks for the great laugh. But try not to make me laugh so much, okay? I wasn't trying to do anything of the sort. Just kidding. I was just goofing around. And by the way, you know who I am? My name's Callisto Yu. You're the sister, or presumably sister, of the murder victim from the previous case, huh?
Well, that is wacky.
Fucking everything's fucking connected here. Jesus Christ. Also, her theme is kind of a bop. Not gonna. Oh. This one might go into the. This one might be going into the stream intro playlist. Yeah, this is a good one. If you're telling me the truth, then we are about to go head to head in court. But of course, I've heard much about you, Miss Yu.
Yeah, but of course I've heard much about you. You're a regular Shakespeare.
I love her. I love the fact that she just cannot take Edgeworth seriously. She's just fucking losing it. Oh. Did I say something funny? Oh, she's great. Alright, we'll talk to her in a bit. What about you, Gumshoe? What do you have to say? Oh, sorry, Mr. Question mark, man. And you are?
Me? Hey, pal. It's common courtesy to tell someone your name first before asking theirs.
Point taken. My name is Miles Edgeworth. I'm a district prosecutor. It's the beginning of a wonderful friendship.
Yeah, prosecutor. Oh, I have never seen a prosecutor as young as you, pal.
I've told you my name. Now would you mind telling me yours?
Yeah, Detective Dick Gumshoe. And just recently, I achieved my dream of becoming a detective. You know, my name is Richard, but you know, all the other kids in my school, they always called me Dick.
Well, children can be cruel.
And more than a dream, it's what I was born to do. And wait, maybe I should check to make sure I'm not really some crazy dream first.
This detective's entirely too excited to be at a murder scene. Did we just become best friends? So, Detective Gumshoe, would you mind telling me what you know about the incident?
And you know what? I don't have to tell you anything, right?
I know that. But it would behoove you to fill me in on what you know.
Fucking Callisto having a fucking, you know, just rolling on the floor in the background. Wow, well, you're a proud one for such a youngster, aren't you? Yeah, well, anyways, Detective Bad is the one in charge. So you're just gonna have to ask him for all the details, okay? As for me, I was guarding the door to defend the lobby number 2.
So you were the guard detail. Did you notice anything strange while you were on duty?
Yeah, well, I freaked out when I heard a gunshot and I kind of froze.
You're a detective, but a mere gunshot scared you that much.
And no, sir, I wasn't scared because I thought it was a gunshot. I was scared because I thought I heard a party popper. You know, I was scared of clowns, sir. So, yeah, if it had been a gunshot, I would have charged in right in there, my fucking gun drawn to gallantly save the day like the detective that I am.
Then again, I can hardly claim to not know what it's like to hear one at close range.
And then Detective Bad came running to the scene. And we went to lobby number 2 together, and both men were lying there dead.
Is that everything?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I was in the hallway the whole time, so I didn't hear a single peep of a struggle.
Interesting. Other than the gunshot, you didn't hear a single sound of commotion. That is actually interesting. So someone just walked up, probably just pulled out the gun and shot the dude? Actually, they killed 2 people, right? Wait! There's 2 victims. The Gumshoe only heard 1 gunshot. The judge also only heard 1 gunshot. Did the killer fucking line them up and take them both out with a single shot? Like a fucking... like he's playing a fucking video game? What the hell? It was in the hall on guard duty. Other than the gunshot, didn't hear a sign of a struggle. Ha! I'm actually more interested about you know, the fact that he heard one gunshot than the fact that there was no struggle. Lawyer of embassy staff killing defendant Rel. I was to battle in court. Dick Gumshoe. New rookie detective at the precinct. First crime scene. Seems very enthusiastic. It's gonna be great. Let's let the Detective Bad over here, I'm guessing. I presume. Excuse me, but who are you?
Detective Tyrell Bad. Homicide.
I was informed of the situation and came as quickly as possible. So how did you arrive and inspect the body before me?
Faraday requested for me to testify in the trial. Plain and simple.
Mr. Faraday requested you be here. Alright, so we got a lot of people to ask things to, but let's go down the line. Let's start with Gumshoe. We got a lot of stuff to present him. Actually, no, we got 3 things to present him. You mentioned that you've only recently become a detective, did you not?
Yeah, you got it. I'm a brand spanking new detective.
So that means you've probably never seen a real prosecutor's badge, right? If you so desire to see one, I just might be able to make your day.
You don't have to go through the trouble, pal, because a real man has a police badge. Someday I'm gonna become an ace detective, just like Detective Bad. No, the ace detective is Luke Atlee. Come on, get your facts straight, Gumshoe. Did I say something wrong, pal?
Forget it, detective. Do you have any insight on this, Detective Gumshoe?
Yeah, well, as a detective, I'd rather see something that is actually related to the case, pal.
I'm curious, thought this was related enough. His standards sure have dropped. That's all I'll say. So you were guarding the door to lobby number 2 at the time of the crime, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Have you know, not a single ant got by me.
Really? Are you sure that not even a single ant slipped in? There seems to be quite a lot over by that window.
Yeah, well, I guess we're talking about slipped in, then, maybe a frog or something?
It would appear that my point also completely slipped by you, Detective. Oh no. Off to a great start, Gumshoe. You're making a great first impression on Edgeworth, on your future boss. I just want to hear her theme a little bit more. Yeah, no, this game had some really good music. I mean, it's certainly been a thing. Like, the music in the games has just gotten better with time. Like, Rise from the Ashes easily had the best soundtrack of the entire first trilogy because it was made after all the other games in the trilogy, after all the other cases in the trilogy, right? So you had great stuff like Gant's theme, Marshall's theme, so and so on. I think that was also the introduction of the Badger theme song, right? And then Apollo Justice obviously comes next, and that game has some absolutely incredible music, especially so I want to find a version of I want a full version of Love Love Guilty with vocals. And to put in my playlist. I might need to just like download it because I can't find it on Spotify. And then this game has some banger tunes, like the Pursuit theme was really good. And then this I think there was another one. Hold on, let me just double check my playlist because I think there's more from this game in there right now. Let's see. What do I have from this game? No, I think I only have the Pursuit theme from this game in my playlist right now. Huh. Well, whatever. Soon, this song will be in the playlist, because it's really good. I really, really fucking like this song. Like, a lot. Okay, but let's just get back to the trial for now. Yeah, let's go about the crime scene. I'd like you to update me on the situation.
I don't really know anything. Why don't you try talking to those detectives over there?
If that's the case, then why are you here? What's so funny?
It's just the way you speak. It's so tactless. The person I was going against in court until only a little while ago was just murdered. It's not like I would go back into the courtroom pretending that nothing happened.
That's a good point. I certainly didn't do that. I apologize for asking such an insensitive question.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, she's cool. It is a shame that we will not be able to face each other. It was to be my first trial too.
Oh, was that a declaration of war? How nice it is to be young and carefree. What a nice squeaky clean badge you've got yourself there. I'm jealous.
I'm sure its gleam will dull over time with experience.
You're saying your reputation will also tarnish over time with it? It kind of will, eventually. Yeah, but you know, he'll pull himself back up.
That's not what I meant.
Well, you just can't avoid some things in life.
I'll never allow my badge or my reputation to become tarnished.
Yeah, well, Damon Gant has other plans, I'm sorry to say.
Yes, you. What do you think about this piece of evidence?
Actually, Edgeworth, I'm interested in finding out what you think about it.
I don't really know all that much about it.
And I don't really know all that much about it either. Sorry, I guess I can't be of any service.
I shouldn't push her too much. She'll start laughing again. She's trembling, trying to hold in her fucking laughter. Alright, so that leaves only the man himself. Wait, let me hear his theme.
It's alright. I mean, it is good, but it's,
Yeah, this is not...
I don't know, this was kind of mid, I think.
I mean, it's certainly miles above most of the things in the other games, sure, but it's not playlist worthy. Not like Callisto's theme is, at least. Let's start by presenting stuff to him. Just showing that off make you feel like a big, strong prosecutor. Of course not. I'm simply proving my title of prosecutor to you. I see. Most prosecutors don't go around flaunting those things. It's like a detective walking around outside with his badge flashing in the sunlight. Show that off too much, before you know it, you'll be elbow deep in criminals. That would definitely be a problem.
So cool.
Detective Bad, I'd like to ask you about a piece of evidence. Could you please pay attention? I'm listening, but I've got nothing to say. And it's story. Very well. Why don't you say that in the first place?
Because he's too cool.
Alright, well, thankfully we don't have that much evidence to go around showing people. I've already contacted HQ about the situation. I've got nothing to say to you, kid. Kid? I'm Mr. Faraday's substitute in today's trial. Therefore, I insist that you update me on the situation. I can't back down here. I have a right to know. I need to teach you a thing or two about how to talk to adults, kid. Is he threatening me? Is he going for his gun? It's just a mirror? How dare he trick me like that?
Faraday was stabbed to death with some kind of blade, and he had a gun in his hand. The other man, Mr. Mackerel, was shot and killed.
Oh. So Faraday was stabbed to death, not shot. Oh, that's very important. Can we write that down? Write that down. Write that down. Oh. Was there anyone else who went into defendant lobby number 2?
Yeah, the big lug over there. His name's Gumshoe.
Brain empty, no thoughts.
He was in charge of guarding the place. He's claiming that no one else entered the room.
If that's the case, then they must have killed each other, correct?
Maybe.
Such impudence. This guy's really testing my patience. Okay, so wait. Stabbed to death with a knife, whereas Mackerel was shot. So they just fucking murdered each other. Like, he just started. So Mackerel's just, so anyway, I started stabbing. And meanwhile, Burn was just like, so anyway, I started blasting. And he's just, oh my god, it's gotta be a massacre in there. I roll bad. Eagle-eyed homicide detective was called in to be expert witness on the Yatagarasu case. Ah, I see. Why haven't we run into him before? Maybe he was in charge of the police investigations we've been around. Maybe Phoenix would have had to fucking carry the entire justice system on his fucking back. He seems actually cut. Look at the difference. I love that their faces are lit completely differently from each other. Like, his character model looks so fucking different from all the other ones. It's great. The holes are still silly, though. Why was I not informed that you were going to testify in court?
Homicides aren't my only gig. The Yatagarasu case is also one of my assignments.
They are called upon to comment on the Yatagarasu's characteristics in order to assess if Mr. Faraday really was the Yatagarasu or not.
Well, well. Looks like you just might have a brain after all, that head of your son.
Son? I'm not your son, Pops.
Monsieur! There's someone here who wishes to see you.
Who is it?
A Cardofian embassy staff member by the name of Manny Cochin.
What? The man accused of killing her sister. What's going on? Like the bad and misused moods just changed all of a sudden. Was Bad in charge of that investigation? Wait a second, wasn't Manny Cochin? I'll be right there. It's nice to see you again, monsieur. Why are you here? I have no desire to ever see you again. No. Actually, would you mind stepping outside for a brief chat? Fine, let's go. Oh, here come that boy! He's doing the funk walk!
Bad. Von Karma. It's been a long time.
I knew you would show up. You usually do when the Yatagarasu is involved, and I see this case as no exception.
Do you know Detective Bad, sir?
Yes, he's like an old bloodhound that never leaves the scene of the crime. If only he would get a promotion and move on.
It's the crime scene where a detective is most useful and effective.
It's not like I don't know that. Moving on, though, Bad. The man I was just passed by. Was he not the suspect from the KG-8 incident?
So I was right.
Just what is the man doing, wandering around here? That Faraday, I can't believe he let such an easy catch get away. Imbecile. I would have proved his guilt in 3 minutes.
He tried that against, he tried that, but it didn't work. Not against Phoenix Wright.
Von Karma, I think you've said enough for now. It's in poor taste to speak like that about the departed.
Ah, very well. Back on topic. We're placing Edgeworth in charge of the investigation here.
That was... There he is!
Papa, how can you place him in charge?
Francisco, what are you doing here? We have baby Francisca too this case with their little fucking baby whip. Oh, it's adorable.
I'm here for summer vacation. What else?
Franziska von Karma, so she's here on vacation from Germany. She's the daughter of Manfred von Karma, and a student of his, who's also a junior of mine.
You're the one who's junior to me, and don't you forget it.
Did you just read my thoughts? You're not conveniently avoiding the bar examination, are you?
If you were able to pass, then I'll have absolutely no trouble at all. I'll never allow myself to lose to you. Never!
Why does she always have to be so competitive?
Anyway, Papa, are you really assigning Miles Edgeworth to cover this case?
Yes, I am. Why do you ask?
Well, you know, I'm close to becoming a prosecutor myself. And I'm 100% confident that I can do a better job than him.
Oh, this is great. We're getting the whole family together here. That's just like Francisca. There's no problem bad-mouthing someone in front of them.
Rad.
Yeah.
These two will be conducting the investigation.
What? You want me to let both of these kids loose on the crime scene?
Ha! This is the perfect opportunity for them to work on their prosecution skills.
Crime scene is not a place for children to be messing around in.
I'm the one with the authority over this crime scene, Bad, and I will not tolerate complaining. Edgeworth, Francisca, I leave this case to the two of you.
Understood, sir.
Yes, Papa.
I'll go take care of the paperwork now. Remember, I'll accept nothing but a perfect report for them both. Do not disappoint me.
This is great. I'm fucking loving this.
Halt up, Von Karma. I still haven't agreed to this.
She's so short. Miles Edgeworth,
It's been quite some time, Francisca.
this will be the perfect chance for us to see which of us is truly worthy of the Von Karma name.
Would it kill you to at least say hello?
Long time no see.
Very good.
Just because you became a prosecutor first doesn't mean you can act all proud.
She hasn't changed a bit.
Miles Edgeworth, as I was saying, we shall see which one of us is worthy of the Von Karma name.
For crying out loud, I've been reduced to a babysitter.
Oh no. It looks like Mr. Von Karma is successfully convincing the detective. That's just like him. He never fails. Now, I'd appreciate if you could quickly run me through the facts, Detective Bad.
You're better off checking things out on your own.
Very well. Seems like getting help from Detective Bad will be a most arduous task. Okay! My god, they're literally just fucking dead on top of each other. Fantastic. Number 10, 4:15 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby, number 2. It's the only real explanation. They killed each other simultaneously.
Miles Edgeworth, you should listen to someone until they are finished talking.
What are you talking about?
I'll only say it one more time. This is a competition to see who is truly worthy of the Von Karma name. Heck,
A competition.
the person who figures out the truth first wins.
So the person who doesn't discover the truth is a dishonor to the name.
Exactly. I don't care that you became a prosecutor before me. I simply refuse to hear any more foolish things coming from your foolishly foolish mouth.
Is that the first time we've had her say foolish? Because I don't think I remember her actually saying it during Turnabout Airlines. Fine. Whatever makes you happy.
Can I take that as you accepting my challenge?
Once again, whatever wish makes you happy.
Well then, let's begin the investigation, shall we? I'm going to find the perfect evidence and readily present it like the professional I am.
Competing to discover the truth of a crime. How delightfully childish. Oh, she is a child. Oh, there's that boy.
Kids, get over here and hold on.
Kid.
Serves you right, Miles. He just called you a kid.
I said kids, kid.
How dare you call me a kid as well?
I'll do what I please. I won't allow you to cause a ruckus in my crime scene.
How old is Franziska here? She was 17 in the first game, right? Yeah, so she's 13. Yeah, so she is certifiably a kid. Okay, here he actually looks kind of normal, but I saw like here this man looks like a fucking horror movie like villain. Look at him! Look at those eyes! Like this man actually like I legitimately like terrified of this man here. But then you just click in the picture. No, he looks fine. I think they just fucked up shrinking his face down. So I was like, oh my god, that man looks evil. Now he looks fine. The Dofian Embassy staff member, he was the suspect in the KG8 incident.
I'll do what I please. I don't want to allow any of you to cause a ruckus in my crime scene. Hey, big guy. You're gonna watch over these two.
Yes, sir. Detective Bad, sir. Now, do what I say from now on, kids, okay?
This is so good. The way the dynamics are being swapped here is so good.
You better not get in a race, Scruffy. You'll feel the bite of my whip if you do. And you prosecutor boy. Hey, let's get your investigation started already, alright?
Great, now even that detective is treating you like a child.
Hey, alright, it's time to get investigating. Get a move on, prosecutor boy.
My name is Miles Edgeworth, and if you keep this up, I swear to God your salary will never recover. And if you were to call me prosecutor boy one more time, it will be my duty as a prosecutor to look into your mouth. It's so good. This is the best Ace Attorney game. I'm sorry. This is it. This has to be it. The cases I don't think are as good as Apollo Justice, but just like between like all the different game mechanics and the character interactions and everything, like, it's so good.
Hey, what? Hey, what would you do with my salary after you saw how much it was?
Well, that's up to you now, is it? Salary cutting noises.
Hey, really? Sounds good, pal.
Does he know? He lacks critical information. Okay, I need some water. I'm fucking dying of laughter. This chapter has just been remarkably funny one so far. This is the second time today that my fucking cheeks hurt from laughing. This is great. I mean, to be fair, the first time was literally just because they called the character Dead Man, which, this is Ace Attorney. I should probably expect that by now, you know? I need some ice. Hold on. Yeah, this fridge does not cool down things nearly fast enough, but oh well. It's what we have. A little bit of ice should fix the problem. Okay. He's so naive. Oh boy. Begin investigation. Here we go. Detective Bad, may I have a word with you?
What is it?
It appears that both a knife and a gun were used as murder weapons.
Yeah, it does.
That leads us to our first question of the investigation. Where did the men acquire the weapons?
Gun is inside of Faraday's bag. It was a piece of evidence that was presented in the trial earlier today. It was used to kill the Condofian embassy staff member.
It's always the same gun that gets used to kill multiple people, isn't it?
But I've never heard anything about the knife. Sorrel was being held by police. There's no way he could have brought it in. Which means it's possible that Faraday had the knife on him from the start as well.
Could it have been a piece of evidence that had yet to be presented? Well, see, but that's the thing. Rel was the one who did the stabbing, not Faraday, right? Which means, for some reason, Faraday takes out the knife that he has in his bag, supposedly, right? Assuming Faraday was the one that brought the knife. Then Rel steals the knife from him. And then Faraday draws the gun and shoots him. It seems kind of unlikely, you know? Like, how would he get the knife from him? But if not, where could he have gotten the knife from? But then, why doesn't Detective Bad know about it? Wait, what if? It's possible that Mr. Faraday brought the knife in under the guise of prosecutorial evidence. He could have brought it out and attacked Mr. Rel with it. So he attacks Rel with the knife. Rel manages to disarm Faraday and tries to stab him back. And that's when he stabs Faraday, but as Faraday's dying, he draws the gun and shoots Rel? I mean, I suppose it's possible? It just seems a bit of an unlikely, turn of events, Plus, why not just use the gun from the start? It'd certainly be easier. And I mean, if your argument is just like, well, he didn't want to get caught. Well, obviously, but like, let's be honest here. The man was inside a closed room with only himself and the person he was planning to murder, with a security guard stationed outside of the room. Like, it didn't matter if, like, he stabbed him with the knife. Like, he'd literally be the only person in the room at the time of the murder, with literally a witness gumshoe that can corroborate that. So either way, he's fucked, right? So I don't think he was too preoccupied. Like, if he was trying to do like a sort of okay. If it was a premeditated murder, he certainly chose a terrible spot to do it. Second, if it wasn't a premeditated murder, and it was just it was a spur of the moment thing, then why did he bring the knife?
Got a brain in there after all, kid.
Is he going to treat me like a child forever?
It looks like Mr. Faraday attacked Mr. Rel first, who then counterattacked. It's the only logical conclusion you can draw from a scene like this.
Not yet. I feel it's much too early to be drawing conclusions already. I must first find conclusive evidence, so as to ensure the honor of the Von Karma name. Yeah, this is a very different Edgeworth. Alright, let's talk to... I don't think we can talk to that guy. This decorative plant's foliage is quite nice. It's actually soothing to be around it. Perhaps I should purchase one for my room. This Charlie's long-lost brother? Why are the plastic bags scattered all around?
Hey, those bags are for keeping evidence safe, pal.
I know that much, detective.
You sure are good at this stuff, aren't you, pal?
Normally, I'd be happy when someone compliments me. What's this guy? Anyway, could these plastic bags be evidence of a fight between the two men? Maybe, but... Wait! That's a very good point! There wasn't a fight. Gumshoe's testimony indicates that there was no fight that went down. Which means then the theory that Faraday attacked Rel, then Rel wrestled the knife away from him, then attacked Faraday, and that's what Faraday drew the gun and shot him. That doesn't work. Because if that had happened, right? Unless, you know, Faraday and Rel are like fucking martial arts masters having like, you know, Faraday draws a knife and Rel just like draws in his key and just fucking parries it without even breaking a sweat, doesn't even make a sound. Like, I feel like if someone attacks you with a knife, you people are like, holy shit, dude! Like, Gumshoe would have heard something. So it couldn't have been that Faraday attacked Rel first. We know for a fact that there wasn't a fight, though. But it was clearly staged. I think that's the key thing here. I think the bags certainly make it look like it was like there was a fight, but because we know from Gumshoe's testimony that there couldn't have been a fight, that, you know, once that's the Sherlock Holmes quote. Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. If the bags are strewn about, making it look like a struggle happened, but we know for a fact that a struggle didn't happen, then the only possible conclusion is that someone set up the crime scene to make it look like a struggle happened. Gumshoe, I think you let more than just a frog slip by you while you were supposedly guarding this room. We're gonna have to talk. We're gonna have to talk about this at your monthly salary review. There's some plastic bags stacked up on the table. That's a tea set, too. There doesn't seem to be any sign of disturbance. Yeah, table's all neat and tidy. Again, another sign that there quite possibly wasn't a struggle. Though, I mean, I suppose it is possible that, like, the fight just took place in this little area. Yeah, maybe they were super quiet in their scuffle. After all, I didn't hear anything from out there in the hallway, you know? Maybe the plastic bags scattered on the floor are throwing us off. Well, they definitely are. The question is, who put them there? I think that's the better thing to be asking ourselves. There's some plastic bags stacked up on the table. There's a tea set too, but there doesn't seem to be any sign of a disturbance. Yeah, the table's all neat and tidy. Ah, okay. Yeah, so the plastic bags on the floor here were clearly taken from the table, which I think is supposed to imply that during the fight, they, you know, they knocked the bags off the table. First of all, they're really far off the table. Second of all, the tea set is completely disturbed. It just doesn't work. There's some stuff in the bag. Hey, there's some stuff in the bag, pal. I suppose this was Faraday's bag. It's probably the trial evidence I was supposed to collect from him. Hey, this is the evidence? Hey, I better not touch it. I'll leave prints on it. You just have to pay attention to anything you do. No, he doesn't. So, do we have some new stuff to talk with Gumshoe about? Hey, yeah, pal? Hey, I'm so excited, pal. It's my first real crime scene. Hey, let's get investigating. Detective Gumshoe. I thought investigations were supposed to be conducted in a calm, collected manner. Yeah, well, what do you know about how to run an investigation, little boy prosecutor? I know that at the very least, I have a greater grasp than you of what happened here. Yeah, why you don't even know more than you don't know any more than me, pal. Look, you just stay behind me, boy, and out of the way. Ironic coming from the guy that's being a step behind me the entire case. very funny because, you know, he fucking walks behind me. It's my first time setting foot inside the courthouse. I would have thought it'd be for the first case of the detective. But you know what? I get the feeling I'll be coming here a lot more in the future. A lot more until, like, you get fired in the lead up to Apollo Justice or something, I guess. That's a suspect detective. You got replaced for Dommy Mommy Emma.
Of course not, pal. Anyway, this lobby's actually pretty luxurious. I mean, for a defendant's lobby, it's got a pretty big TV. Oh, hey, here's that tea set on the table over there. I bet you didn't know that I like to drink tea. Wow, this room really is decked out. If it means spending time in here, maybe being a suspect is such a big thing after all.
I'm beginning to suspect that leaving this detective in charge of anything might be bad. But he is right. This room is rather well furnished. And somewhere in this room, the truth is slumbering. It's time to find it and give it a wake-up call. Also, from this perspective, his finger looks massive. Like, he looks like he's about to, like, fucking, like, grab Gumshoe's entire fucking head. So, Detective Gumshoe.
Hey, yeah, what is it, boy?
Of all the people to call me that, this detective is by far the least qualified. I wanted to ask you about how the investigation is proceeding.
Yeah, see for yourself, pal. Oh, do I do a great detective bear?
See for yourself, pal.
Oh, do I do a great detective bear or what?
Is this man not a professional bone in his body? Very well, then I will inspect the victim's bodies myself. Yeah, you have to start to learn that when you're working with Gumshoe, you pretty much have to do everything on your own, pal. Because he sure as shit isn't gonna do any of the fucking work.
Yeah, whoa!
What is it, Detective Gumshoe?
Yeah, my TV at home is so tiny compared to this one, pal.
Then perhaps you should purchase a more normal-sized television like this one.
Oh, let me see. Wow, this thing's huge.
Edgeworth really just hit him with the... Are you poor? Just make more money, detective.
Yeah. It's way too noisy. You're the noisy one, Scruffy.
Don't touch it. You'll get fingerprints all over it.
Yeah, but I didn't touch it.
Preservation of the crime scene is the foundation of detective work. The foundation, huh? Sounds like something the rookie here needs to shore up on. Detective Bat is pretty cool, but I kind of wish we'd gotten, Well, Detective Bat is pretty cool. I kind of wish we would have gotten someone, from the previous games instead, like fucking, Detective Marshall. Also because I was waiting to hear his theme song again, but... maybe they wanted to use a unique character here because he'll be like, maybe he'll come back during the final case or something. Could be interesting. The TV has been left on.
Hey, why are you looking at me like that? That wasn't me. I didn't touch anything.
Gumshoe, do you know what will happen to you if you touch something again? Right.
I won't touch anything. I won't even go near the TV, sir. And you, get back to your investigation, all right?
I was planning to do so anyways. The window's open and there's a fresh flowery scent in the air.
Yeah, flowers in the garden down there are so gross and ghastly.
Do you think maybe you could try offering something useful for a change?
Yeah, well, at least there's no way someone escaped through this window, pal. It won't wake up and smell the flowers after a fall from the third floor.
Are you willfully ignoring the fact that there are also iron bars on the window? Okay, no human can climb through these barred windows. The scent of flowers is in the air. Okay, that's an interesting observation. I wonder how that's gonna come into play. The game seems to be really lingering on the smell of flowers.
Yeah, I guess there's that too. Either way, no one could get through these windows, right?
They thought of everything when they were designing this courthouse. Very nice. Okay. Yeah, I think today's, I think we're gonna do a bit of a shorter stream today. I'll probably end it around the 2-hour mark, I think. But we'll see. Nothing's set in stone yet, but I think that's what I'm planning on doing. Because I don't really like streaming past 9 p.m., ideally. But, you know, maybe we'll stretch it up to 10. We'll see. We'll see. So I am interested in the case. What do we talk to next? Let's look at the bodies for right now. It looks like Mr. Faraday fell on top of Mr. Rell. At first glance, it seems like they must have killed each other. Oh. At first glance, it seems like they must have killed each other, however. Using logic, the only logical conclusion is... What was that outburst for? My detective instinct just hit me real hard. It was Mr. Rell that fell first, see? You don't need a detective's instinct for that, it's common sense. But I suppose we won't know much more than that until after I examine the bodies. Could we get an autopsy report, maybe? I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Okay, I need to go to the bathroom. So, we're gonna take a quick break here. And then, yeah, I guess since we are taking a bit of a break, I think we'll go ahead and continue on, to 10 p.m. and make this a 3-hour stream. Then I think it's, I think that's probably the best idea. Yeah. So, we're gonna go ahead and, yeah, take a little break. And then, yeah. Yeah, we'll be back in maybe about 15 minutes. I'm gonna go make myself a cup of tea. Because the Von Karma voice has not been kind to my vocal cords, so I need some tea for that. But yeah, we'll be right back.
Mankind knew that they cannot change society, so instead of reflecting on themselves, they blamed the beasts. But they found beauty in the lives of beasts, and couldn't lie to themselves about it.
Can't you see I'm blazing? Still my heart is blazing. If the words kill me, I don't need a new world after you. My tribe is my word. Your words will never let me disappear. That is bullshit blazing. Still my heart is blazing. If the words kill me, I don't need a new world after you. Soon you will know. We already know the smell of the, know the smell of the, know the smell of the, know the smell of the game.
Okay, my water took a lot longer to boil than I was expecting. My tea, I just put the tea bag in. It's still, it's still steeping. So I'm just gonna let it steep for a few minutes while we get started here. And then I'm just gonna need to take a little break to just pour in my copious amounts of Splenda. Because when I drink tea, it either has to be just black. Is that the terminology? I know it's black when you like for coffee. I don't know if it's called black if it's like tea with like nothing. Either put nothing in it, absolutely nothing, or I'm putting like 9 packets of Splenda minimum. There's no in between. Anything in between, like, oh, you put in like 1 packet of Splenda to make it slightly sweet. Nah, miss me with that shit. That shit is disgusting. Fucking like slightly sweet. Nah, bullshit. That shit better be either completely bitter or sweet as syrup. There is any in between is a travesty and a cop-out by weaklings who either cannot handle bitterness or cannot handle sweetness. In fact, they can't handle either, and so they try to go for this pussy shit in the middle. Miss me with that fucking shit. My tea is either gonna give you a fucking, well, I was about to say it was either gonna give you diabetes, but I use Splenda, so if anything, it's gonna give you cancer. Or it's, you know, it's gonna taste like sugar doesn't exist in this world. No other way to drink tea. Okay. The only exception is when is drinking iced tea. When I drink icy, which is very rarely, usually I like to stick to hot tea. But the few times that I drink iced tea, I cannot handle any amount of sugar in my iced tea. I don't know why. Just the fact that it's cold, it just makes the sugar just taste bad with it. So like iced tea, I have to drink like completely bitter. But hot tea, I can go either fully bitter or sickeningly sweet, but no in betweens. All right, let's actually take a look at this crime scene. Why is this bag bloody? Where are the plastic bags scattered all around? Those bags will keep everything safe, pal. I know that much, detective. You sure good at this stuff, aren't you, pal? Normally, I'd be happy when someone. Okay, we've already gone through this. Yeah, but I'm interested in that one that is bloody. That's far apart from everything else in the crime scene, which is interesting to me. Can I look at his ass? No. Mr. Faraday, how ironic it is for him to lose his consciousness in a courthouse. Yeah, what? To be like this, I don't know what to say. I can't believe this happened while I was on watch, pal. Rather than beating yourself up, you should spend your time continuing the investigation. Then you become a detective in order to solve crimes. Yeah? And get back to work. Find out the cause of the murder. Yeah, right. Hey, I'm on it, pal. Alright, let's take a look at the gun. Look, yeah, it looks like Mr. Faraday died while holding the gun in his right hand. So he shot Mr. Rell and then fell on top of him while still gripping onto the gun. I guess it does seem kind of strange, huh? I mean, why would Mr. Faraday know how to fire a gun? I mean, it's not hard. It's not exactly rocket science. Even I know how to pull a trigger. Although I doubt I'll ever need to use one. I hope I'll never have to fire a gun either, pal. It sure does look cool to hold a gun in your hands. I mean, if you think about it, guns and rockets function very similarly in a way, right? In both cases, you have combustion, which then causes air to expand, and as a result, pushes something. It sure does look cool to hold a gun in your hands. It appears the police's screening procedures need a thorough review. Anyways, I should jot down some notes about the handgun in Mr. Faraday's hand. Alright, let's take a look. Was Faraday's evidence from embassy staff killing case was found in his hand. Okay. And that's supposedly the gun that killed, Rel, but we haven't analyzed any ballistic markings or anything, although I suppose I don't know where another, you know, if there was another gun, I mean, it probably would have been thrown out the window, maybe? But then again, Gumshoe's also not a good guard, so anything could have happened. First, he killed a Cadofian embassy staff member, then he was murdered himself. This guy wasn't exactly an angel, you know? What makes you say that? Yeah, well, he's been hauled into the precinct several times for theft and assault, pal. So, yeah, he's definitely the type to have committed a murder or two. Well, he did admit to killing Mr. Deadman. Hey, good point, pal. I know my detective intuition was right, telling me something. Detective's intuition? Hey, you know about it? It's a special feeling that all detectives... We don't have time for this conversation right now. Let's return to the investigation. You can regale me with your tales of intuition after we become best buds. It looks like Mr. Rel died with a knife in his hands. With some blood stuck on it. He must have used this as a weapon. Yeah, no doubt about it. Mr. Faraday carrying this on his personage. Did he bring this as a piece of evidence for the trial? Or did he bring it with a very different intention in mind? I should jot down some notes about it. Right, we'll look at it in a second. Okay, that seems to be everything we can look at here. So, hold on, let me get this tea bag out of here, and let me... I gotta squeeze it to make sure we don't lose any tea. Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. Fuck. Ah. No, everything's falling apart. No, just... Why did I get greedy and try to get all the tea out? Why? Here we go. Now we're doing... Oh no, I've spilled tea everywhere. Oh, this is a disaster. Oh, this is a fucking disaster, dude. Oh my god, okay. Okay, well, that could have gone better. Let me get this Splenda in here while we do this. Let's see. Weapon. Really, Faraday brought this as evidence. It was found in Rel's hand. I mean, yeah. I don't see any other way he could have gotten it past the court security other than by saying, yeah, that's like evidence in a case. Yeah, but how did Rel get his hand on it if there was supposedly no struggle, you know? That doesn't make sense. Let's go talk. I don't think Franziska is going to be very helpful, so let's go talk to the actual good detective in the room here. Detective Bad, do you have any thoughts on the case? Oh, that's the... No, I thought that was the advance button, but I guess not. Is it this one? Yes.
Faraday and Rel. It looks like they killed each other to me. Although, there are a few things that just don't seem right.
And what would they be?
Why don't you try thinking on your own first before you bother me, boy?
What? No, I've just been degraded to just boy. Okay, so it looks like we can't actually talk to man, so I guess the only thing left to do is to talk to Frankie over there. Let's go do that. Yo, well, I guess we could also lodge it. Ooh, and we have some new stuff to present to Gumshoe too. Let's do that first. Yeah. Interesting. Like these two maybe, but they're contradictory, so I think like there needs to be some more connective tissue in there before we can connect them. Gumshoe, what say you? Hey pal, I appreciate if you don't point that thing at me, okay? Don't get cheeky with me, detective. I simply wish to show it to you. Come on, Edgeworth, you got basics of gun safety, man. You got the point. You got a point in showing it to me?
Yeah, because I don't even have a single penny on me, so you're out of luck, pal!
Oh, that was an unusual reaction to being shown a piece of evidence. Oh, I love this man.
Your knife is one of the murder weapons, right?
Yes, it is the weapon that took Mr. Faraday's life.
Oh, ho, ho, his blood stuck on the blade and it's still fresh.
You're in the homicide division, correct? You'll be seeing a lot more blood. Even if it's not your cup of tea, even if it's not your cup of tea, you might as well get used to it.
But the sight of blood isn't something I want to get used to.
Very good point. Very good point. Don't think of it as seeing blood, but rather as a representation of the killer.
Mr. Edgeworth, you're kind of sounding like a psychopath right now. You're just saying. Ah! Okay.
Even the spoon is too hot to fucking touch. Jesus Christ. But okay. At least that's done.
You can actually get to this properly.
If viewed in that sense, you begin to see how the killer operates.
Yeah, you're right, pal. And thanks for the fresh perspective, I feel so much better now.
I'm glad someone does. Okay. Alright, Francisco, what do you have to say?
I see.
Did you figure something out?
This is a competition, Miles. And as such, I'd appreciate it if you didn't talk to me.
As you wish. What, then what are we supposed to do here? Why do you examine the bodies? We examined everything else in this room. I guess it has. We have to put some stuff together here. Yeah, the table was disturbed, but the plastic bags were strewn all over the floor. So what does that leave us? There's a very tidy pile of plastic bags on the table. And yet a portion of them wound up scattered on the floor as well. It's not likely that the ones on the floor were knocked over during a struggle. In which case, might there be another explanation as to how they got there?
Yeah, another reason?
I believe it's possible that the blood on the outside of the bag is related somehow.
Yeah, please get that blood away from me, pal.
Detective Gumshoe, whose blood is it on this bag?
Yeah, hold on. Let me ask the lab guy.
Alright, please hurry. Gumshoe going to get her autopsy report.
Yeah, wait till you get a load of it, pal. It's Mr. Faraday's. Oh, and the technicians say they don't find anything else on or in the bag either.
It would appear that this bag is a very important piece of evidence.
Okay, if you say so, I'll leave it in your hands, pal.
Thank you, Detective. Let's take a look. Yeah, I wonder how the lobby window is gonna play into this. Okay, one of the bags strewn on the floor is Faraday's blood on it. Alright, let's take a look. The blood here is from Mr. Faraday, but there are no other clues to be found, which begs the question. Do I need to put this bag inside another bag in order to preserve it as evidence? Technically, yes! See, but that's the interesting part, right? So... if the bags... if there was no struggle, then that means the bags weren't knocked over and thrown on the floor. Someone deliberately must have placed them on the floor, right? And if we actually take a look at the scene, right? As you can see, Faraday is actually laying on top of the bags, which means the bags were placed down on the floor before he fell over. So it's not like someone, unless someone, you know, just lifted his hand and put them there, that it's possible someone, killed them both and then was rearranging the scene of the crime or something like that. But I suppose the interesting thing is, right? If these bags were placed on the floor, right, rather than, rather than just knocked over, they were placed on the floor, then someone must have grabbed them. And if they were grabbed, there should have been fingerprints, especially since the two people that are in this room who could have done it, neither of them have gloves on. But if there were no fingerprints found in the bag, which is what I assumed that meant, then that means that the person that either the bags were knocked down, which then presents a contradiction, or the person who actually placed them down was wearing gloves, meanwhile that there must have been a third person in the room, maybe? Okay. And we're heading somewhere. Let's see what Gumshoe has to say. No, he has 0 things to say. Brain empty, no thoughts. Great. Okay, what do we do now? Can we talk to... Bad? No. What have we not examined yet? So, we've looked at the bodies. We can try talking to Franziska, but she's not gonna give me shit. Yeah. Nothing from Franziska. Already looked at the window, we've looked at the TV. I don't think there was anything in the bag, right? What's in the bag? Yeah, just evidence. Can we have another look at the bags, maybe? Plastic bag stuck on the table. No, I've already gone through this. So maybe I can try. Yeah, let me take a look at this, at the actual bodies one last time. Might be something we missed. So we investigated Faraday. We investigated the gun. Investigated Rel, the knife. Oh, his hand. His hand is all black down here. See? Oh, his hand's all black down here. I wonder what that could be. Oh, I thought that was just like a shadow. If you look closely, this blotching powder resembles an ink stain. It's ink on his left hand. Why is there ink in such a place anyways? Ink. And anything in here that could be ink? Ink stain? Yes, I usually get ink on my own hands when I use my feather pen. A feather pen? Yeah, I've never seen one before. You sure you aren't just making it up, pal? Why the fuck would you use a feather pen? You want to be fancy. Oh, he's not longer standing back against the wall. This is good. Okay, we're making progress. Why would you ever use a feather pen? If you want to be fancy, use a fountain pen. I mean, it looks, if you buy a good one, it looks fancy, and they actually write just as well, if not better, than modern pens. Yeah, it's what we think, but it's hard to tell with him laying face down. Death is bad enough, but it's truly lamentable that someone would try to hide the truth. Are you sure they were trying to hide something? I can't confirm Mr. Rel's cause of death as his body positioned like this. Dr. Bad, I'd like to examine the bodies in further detail if possible. What's this? You're able to form a theory with them the way they are? I believe an examination of the bodies is vital to finding perfect evidence, don't you? I suppose you do have a point. Oh, hurry up and get on with it. Blabby. Sir, we've taken enough photos of the scene, sir. Also, the camera's run out of film.
And there you have it.
Do you not approve?
Of course not.
What?
Investigation of a crime scene is the work of a detective, so don't touch a thing. Hey, big fella, turn over the bodies for me, will ya?
Okay. Oh, please forgive me, Mr. Faraday, sir.
Gumshoe, do not get emotionally involved. Remember, you're a detective.
Yes, sir. Understood, sir. He's so cool.
He should. If they make a. When the Ace Attorney anime adapts this game, he should in the English dub, Detective Bad should be voiced by Chris Pratt. He's so cool. Dressed until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Yeah, so it looks like he was fucking stabbed and he was shot. Which, I mean, is consistent with what we've heard. Oh, did not mean to click that. Anything new on the faces? First he killed a Kadofian embassy staff member, then he was murdered himself. Okay, this is the same dialogue, and I'm guessing it'll be the same for Faraday as well. Okay. The gun, I'm sure will still be this. His right hand.
It's the one Mr. Rell got blown away by.
Labby, your answer.
Yes, sir.
We found the ballistic match. Marks to match the gun.
Oh boy, ballistic markings are
The figurative fingerprints of a gun leaves on a bullet from fire.
They really do talk about ballistic markings got locked, don't they?
Every gun leaves its own unique ballistic markings. Therefore, by looking at the markings on a bullet, you can tell which gun it came from.
It's of course I already know about that, pal.
Just, yeah, like Wright knew about evidence law?
Maybe you'd better go off going back to the academy.
Yeah, come on, sir. Cut me some slack, will ya?
So the bullet that was fired from the gun is what fell to Mr. Rell. Yeah. Little do they know that Gumshoe will in the future be instrumental in taking down not only Manfred von Karma, but also like Chief Gant. What a wacky world. Actual clown shit, yeah. Looks like Mr. Rell was stabbed with Mr. Faraday was stabbed with the knife Mr. Rell was holding.
Ouch!
What's wrong, detective?
And my stomach started to hurt just thinking about being stabbed.
Just keep your mind on the case, alright? The only other thing I can think of to look at is, well, there's whatever that is, and then there's the 2 wounds. So let's start with the wounds, because those are the obvious things. Shot in the chest.
It takes some guts to fire a gun in the courthouse. I mean, I've been a detective for a whole week and I still haven't fired a single round yet.
There aren't any burn marks on his clothes. That must mean...
Wait, burn marks?
Yeah, it was far away. The round grows very hot as it's discharged from a firearm. Therefore, burn marks are usually lodged when a shot is fired. Can we please stop using the word point blank range for things that are not point blank range? Well, I mean, sorry, can we stop using point blank range in a situation where it's irrelevant? Literally, I could be standing on the farthest, on like that corner or on like, you know, the room that this murder happened. You could have people positioned as far away from each other as is physically possible within this room, and the shot would still be at point blank range because they.
Point blank range is a lot further than people think.
This does not mean what you think it is. Ergo, Mr. Rell must have been shot from at least a yard or 2 away. Okay, yeah.
You sure do know a bunch of neat stuff for your age, pal.
Apparently, this detective has as much common knowledge as your everyday marsupial. And he shall be paid about as much. What found in his, well, fired from a few yards away. Right, so then that kind of also throws away the theory of the fight. Because theoretically, if a fight went down, what would have happened is Faraday pulls out the knife, tries to stab Rel. Rel wrestles away the knife because he's like some master martial artist or whatever. Then Rel stabs Faraday, and before he bleeds out, Faraday shoots Rel. Rel, with the worst wound because he's been shot, falls to the ground first, and Faraday falls on top of him. But again, if Faraday shot Rel in the middle of a struggle, it would have been from really close. It would have been really close, and so there should have been burn marks, but there aren't. So that again throws another wrench into the theory that there was some kind of fight here. He has a knife wound in his chest, do you see? I wonder if the wound matches the knife Mr. Rel was holding.
Abby.
Yes, sir. Verifying now, sir.
Make it quick.
From the looks of things, one could deduce that the knife Mr. Rel is holding is what killed Mr. Faraday. I mean, might not be. There's something in his breast pocket. It's a fountain pen. So that's where the ink came from. Fountain pen in Faraday's pocket has a especially nice nib. Yoink! We were just talking about fountain pens earlier. Hey, you know, I always keep a pencil behind my ear. It's because Detective Bay is always telling me, you should always write your name on everything you own, pal. Somehow, you strike me as a quite forgetful individual. Let us now try to understand how these two men died. First, Mr. Faraday took the gun and the knife out from today's trial evidence. Then he aimed the gun at Mr. Rel and fired. However, Mr. Rel managed to grab the knife and counter Mr. Faraday while being shot. Then the two men fell together where they stood. That is my theory, in any case. Yeah, what a crazy way to go. Still, something about that explanation doesn't seem quite right. Yeah. Like, first of all, the only sign of there being a struggle is the plastic baggies strewn everywhere. But because the table that those baggies were on seems completely unaffected, it seems very clear to me that those were placed there either before or after the fact. Didn't actually have anything to do with the struggle. There's the fact that, right, that one baggie was covered in Faraday's blood, but if Faraday got stabbed and then fell over right then and there, how did the blood get on the baggie, especially the baggie that was furthest away from where the two bodies lay? Right? It's not like there was a puddle of blood everywhere. Like, it was very clearly on that baggie and nothing else. So how did it get there? Not to mention then the fact is, right? Where did the knife come from? Right? Our initial theory had been the Faraday brought the knife, but if Faraday brought the knife and it wasn't meant to be evidence, then the only thing we can assume is that Faraday was planning to kill Rel with the knife. So then why did, when the time come to do the deed, did he grab the gun instead of the knife? Right? It must have been that Rel wrestled the knife from him, but again, that doesn't work with the fact that there's, not really any signs of struggle in this room. I believe I now have a firmer grasp on what happened here. Okay, back to the job. It's pertaining to Burn, Faraday, and Mac Rel. Let's check button. Let's see. Burn Faraday, age 40, Mac Rel, age 30. Time of death, September 10, approximately 4 p.m. Discovered immediately after gunshot was heard, right? So they died basically... So at least... Yeah. So whoever got shot must have died basically instantly. because as soon as the pretty soon after the gunshot happened, Bad and Gumshoe break into it. Marks about bodies. Faraday died of a knife stab to the chest. Rel died of a bullet wound to the chest. There's no gunpowder marks on the chest, suggesting he was shot from a few yards away. And then we have a picture. Cool. Sure that'll be useful. Alright, Gumshoe, what do you have to say? Yeah, Bill. Yeah, my voice is feeling better already. There's an update to the handgun. Yeah, but there has not been an update to Gumshoe's intelligence, sadly. And he does not have any insight on this. Gumshoe, I think that's pretty closely tied to the case, if I would have to guess, but, you know, I guess you see the bigger picture that I failed to see. Frankie! I see. Did you figure something out? This is competition, Miles, but as such, I'd appreciate it if you could talk to me. As you wish. So tell me, how much evidence have you had already? Because I've basically already solved this case. So, I mean, if you don't want to talk to me, that's fine. You're just going to lose, embarrassingly so. Pretty bad. Do you have any thoughts on the case? Think they killed each other? Okay, he's not being helpful either. Right? Can we take a look at the other plastic bags scattered all around? Well, this is just the same thing again. Oh. New points of logic here? Do. Ah, the ink stain on the fountain pen. Yeah, although the question is, how does that, you know, factor into everything? Like, obviously, he tried to use the fountain pen and got ink on his... Ah! He's left-handed. The fact that there's ink stains on his... Also, how do you get that much ink on you from a fountain pen? Is your fountain pen fucking broken, dude? I use a fountain pen myself, and I've, like... I mean, I've got ink myself, like... You know, sometimes, like, the tip, like, the nib will be, sometimes some ink will get on top of the nib, so I'll just, like, take my finger and just quickly wipe it down with, like, one swipe. And sure, I'll get a little bit of ink on my finger, but how do you get... First of all, how do you get it down here? And second of all, how do you get that? That is a lot of ink. Like, I'm sorry, I think your nib is broken. Because you should not have that much ink on yourself for using a fountain pen. Sorry, do the developers of this game think like a fountain pen like shoots ink out like an actual fountain? Because it doesn't, by the way. It doesn't. So I don't know where all that ink's going from. But I think what we're supposed to take from this is the fact that oh no, he's left-handed. I'm retarded. Yeah, no, it makes sense now, because he writes with his left hand, right? And so typically when you write with your right hand, you write here, right? Your hand is which is resting on the paper, is ahead of the writing. So as you write, the ink dries, and then when you come back over and your hand goes over it, the ink's already dried. But if you're left-handed, especially with a fountain pen, where the ink is typically water-based, it takes a little bit longer to dry than, say, the ink of a ballpoint pen. So when you're writing left-handed, as you're writing, your hand is going right over the still wet ink, and so then it's why a lot of left-handed people typically have sometimes have really smudged handwriting. It's because their hand is smudging the ink as they write. Okay, I think I just forgot how hands work for a second, but we're back on track here. Okay, so yes. Faraday was left-handed, as evidenced by the fact that he had ink on his left hand, which means, you know, as he was writing, yada yada yada. Yet the gun was in his right hand. Now, if I was gonna murder someone, say Bryce, for example, I would use my dominant hand, which is my right hand. So that's kind of odd, isn't it? It's a splotch in Mr. Faraday's hand. I wonder if it might be the ink from his fountain pen. Oh, hey, let's ask the lab guy.
Hey guys, I have a job to do. Mr. Gumshoe, I confirmed the substance on Mr. Faraday's hand is the ink for the fountain pen.
You work fast. Yeah, see, good work. Yeah, you know, I've always wanted to say that, even if just one time in my life. Scruffy, move! You are blocking my view of the crime scene. Like, look at her. She can't. She's just fucking buried her face into Gumshoe's back, and is too stubborn to move herself. So she's just waiting for him to move out of her way. Then Mr. Faraday wrote with his fountain pen in his left hand. I think it's fair to assume he was left-handed. It appears that Mr. Faraday's pen is very important to our case as well. Okay, if you say so, pal. There we go. I guess there's not much left to investigate, huh? They really did kill each other. No, we can't conclude that quite yet. There's still something I find very peculiar here. The theory that they simply killed one another is too simplistic in this case. In fact, there is actually a contradiction that shows there is another possibility. Yeah, no way, Bale. Really? I suppose I'll just have to show you the conflict in the crime scene. Don't rest. Okay, say your catchphrase. It's the hand holding the gun. Like, yeah, left-handed Faraday. Oh, we can actually look at the fountain pen. Can we end cap? Yeah. Seems Mr. Faraday was in the habit of using very nice fountain pens. It's the total opposite of me. I get these things. I don't get these things at all. Well, I think the pencil behind your ear suits you just fine. Yeah, really? You think so, pal? Man, I knew it was worth something. That wasn't exactly a compliment, Detective. Pencils are great! You can erase stuff when you get it wrong, which I'm sure is something that Gumshoe needs to do a lot. Yeah, I don't see how it could be hard to use. Like, it's not hard to use a fountain pen. You put the tip on the paper, and it writes. It's the same as any other pen. You just, like, the only thing is, like, you shouldn't apply too much pressure with it. Like, and obviously if you're writing with, like, a ballpoint pen or with a pencil, you have to apply some pressure. With a fountain pen, not really. It just glides on the paper, but, like, it's not like if you applied pressure by accident, it wouldn't write. It would, I mean, it would break. You'd still be able to use it. This looks like a quality nib. Hey, let me test it out, pal. Oh, this is really, really... Yeah, I got ink all over my hand. Detective Gumshoe, don't ever play with evidence like that again. Oh my god, he's incorrigible. Holy shit. Alright, yeah. Now we come face to face with the contradiction I spoke of, and it is this. Mr. Faraday uses his left hand to write with his fountain pen. Ergo, he is left-handed. And yet the handgun is in his right hand. Don't you find it odd that the left-handed Mr. Faraday would hold a gun in his right hand? That, lady and gentlemen, is the great contradiction haunting the crime scene. Yeah, you're right, pal. It does seem kind of strange. But how could something like that happen? The facts add up to one conclusion, and one alone. Someone else put the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand after he died. He's someone else? Plastic bags scattered on the floor and a gun in the wrong hand. I sense the presence of a shadowy figure behind this case. A person of vile intent who's serious about keeping the truth from us. Edgeworth, you really need to stop just throwing the, You need to get yourself some more, some better vocabulary, my man. I can hear, you laughing like 50 rooms down.
Here's the autopsy report.
That's my line!
It is probable that Mr. Rell survived for a short time after he was shot. However, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously from a stabbing. Interesting.
How do you die instantaneously from a stabbing? What? Did he was Rel like a fucking master of kung fu and like stabbed him in like nerve or something? But that there's also the fact that like the got a bullet wound to the chest. There's no gunpowder. Yeah, discovered it immediately after the gunshot was heard. So I don't know how long that could have been, but it couldn't have been too long.
It looks like we now know everything we need to know about this case.
We'll see about that. Immediately after the gunshot, except with the bodies. Faraday died with a knife set to the chest. Shock from the stabbing caused instantaneous death. Weakling. Rel died of a bullet wound to the chest. Some gunpowder burners close because he was shot from a few yards away. Also, he was alive for a little while after being shot. Okay, so that makes sense. So in that case, that swaps the order of things. Because, right, the idea earlier was that Faraday gets stabbed, and then before he bleeds out, he shoots Rel. But that clearly can't happen. Faraday must have shot Rel, and then before he bleeds out, Rel stabs Faraday, right? That's, right, that's what you can gather from that. But again, that doesn't give... But like, if he was just a lot... But again, soon after the gunshot, Edgeworth, Gumshoe and Bad burst into the scene, which means he couldn't have been alive for that long. Certainly long enough to walk up to Faraday and stab him, but not long enough to like set up this whole intricate crime scene. Not at all. So that's the thing that's throwing me off here. I think it's more likely that they didn't kill each other at all. Because the way the events go down just doesn't make sense. I think the most likely scenario here is that that Faraday dies first, right? So Faraday gets killed, either by Rel or by a third person, whoever that may be. After he's killed, his blood gets on the baggie somehow. I'm not entirely sure yet how that happens, but Faraday's blood gets on the baggie. Later, the third individual shoots Rel, and then sets up the crime scene to make everything look like they fought, right, by strewing the he strews the baggies everywhere. He positions Faraday's body on top of Rel's to make it look like, Faraday, to make it look like they fought, stab, shoot, fall. And I think that explains basically everything in the case. The only issue there is, how do they leave the room? Because the window is barred, so they couldn't have gone out that way. The only exit in and out of the room is through the door that Gumshoe was supposedly guarding, unless, a whole ass person slipped by him somehow. I still don't know how Kay plays into all this, because with their dollar bill. Are you sure we know everything?
Of course. The incident began when Mr. Faraday attempted to get his revenge. The prosecutor went into a rage from being accused and tried to kill the defendant. But the defendant fought back and they ended up killing each other. It's all very clear and simple. There's absolutely no margin for doubt.
Do you really believe that to be the truth?
you saying that just because I figured out the truth before you, that you don't want to believe it's true? It's alright. If you disagree with my argument, then prove me wrong. Well, if there are any contradictions to be found, that is.
But don't worry, I will. Sibling rivalry, let's go. What happened?
Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous, while Mr. Rel survived for a short time. From this, it's obvious that Mr. Faraday died after he shot Mr. Rel, and Mr. Rel, while on the brink of death, stole Mr. Faraday's knife and stabbed him. Those are the facts of this case.
Yeah, except that Faraday supposedly fell on top of Rel, and the bloody baggies, and the immaculate tea set, and the gun on the wrong hand. Every word in that statement was just wrong, Francisco. Mr. Faraday's death is instantaneous, therefore he must have attacked first. Proving that logic to be false is probably the fastest way to show that she's wrong. In that case, I should first look for any holes in her theory. No, first we should press to get all the dialogue out of the game.
Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous, while Mr. Rel survived for a short time.
I mean, that is just a factually correct statement. Okay, not every word was wrong, I suppose. The parts where she was just reading verbatim off the fucking autopsy report, those were right. Because for how stupid she is literate. I'll give her that. Do you truly believe that Mr. Faraday died instantaneously?
I have the murder report right here. Mr. Faraday died instantaneously of shock due to being stabbed in the chest. There, you see, it's been documented clear as day.
I could use an updated autopsy report right about now. It's obvious Faraday died after he shot Rel. No. There is nothing that leads from one point to the other. This is a complete non sequitur. Mr. Faraday shot Mr. Rel before he died. Do you have any basis for that statement?
Your foolishness has no end, does it? Now I hate to repeat myself, however, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously. That's all the basis I need.
Alright, so if Mr. Faraday died instantaneously, then he must have attacked Mr. Rel before being stabbed.
You're finally beginning to catch on, I see.
No, that does not logically follow. I mean, it kind of does, but there's no proof that that's actually what happened. Give me some evidence, Frankie. When the brink of death, stole Mr. Faraday's knife and stabbed him. Yeah, see, that's what the real killer wants you to think. I am 4 parallel universes ahead of you. So, he believed that dying Mr. Rel stole the knife from Mr. Faraday.
Mr. Rel became desperate as he did not want to die. Human beings can do amazing things if they're put to the test. So the two men struggled. And in the end, Mr. Rel was able to grab the knife and stab Mr. Faraday. The messy condition of this room is a testament to their struggle. Yes, my logic is perfect. Perfectly sound.
Did you really say that it's perfect? Yeah, there's like about 5 separate contradictions that we still haven't addressed here.
What are you insinuating?
Nothing. However, I can't let you just what you just said slide by without further inquiry. One must be clear and precise. If you could append that testament to your statement to your testimony.
Fine.
They struggled, and Mr. Rel used less of his strength to counterattack Mr. Faraday. Yeah, but we know there was no struggle.
Hold it!
About this statement.
Mr. Rel used all of his remaining strength to take the knife and defend himself. One can easily see that they had a violent struggle. Of course, it's nothing compared to what my riding crop can...
Oh, her fucking whip? How does one compare the damage her crop can do with the state of this room?
Furthermore, all the plastic bags on the floor. Plastic bags on the floor in this room were scattered there due to the fight. Is there anything else I can explain for you?
No, that will be fine. At least I know you're able to... At least I know you're capable of conducting an investigation. Unlike a certain prosecutor that I haven't actually met yet. In fact, he's a defense attorney at the time, and he's extremely hot. You think Edgeworth had a crush on Diego Armando after that one courtroom, or do you think he only has eyes for Phoenix? These are the questions we need answered. Those are the facts of this case.
Hold it!
Claiming speculation as a fact already. Don't you feel that evidence is a bit lacking?
You'll find all the evidence you need just by looking around the room. Mr. Faraday collapsed on top of Mr. Rel. In addition, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously, making a counterattack impossible. Furthermore, the room is a total mess for their fight. Dare I say there's more evidence here than you could whip a whip at.
It looks like she's becoming more and more confident. And looking at this place, she might have a right to be. After all, everything here seems to support her theory. Everything but the tea set.
It looks like you're starting to see my point. I've as good as won our little competition.
There's something strange about Franziska's theory. I should compare her claim with the data I've gathered thus far. I just know there's a contradiction somewhere. Alright, it's obviously the fact that there wasn't actually a struggle. As per... yeah, Gumshoe didn't hear signs of a struggle. Though again, this can all be chalked up to Gumshoe being terrible at his job. If the two men were fighting, their struggle could have surely caused quite a bit of noise. However, Detective Gumshoe testified that he heard absolutely nothing.
Ha! You place too much faith in that detective's testimony, you know. But for the sake of argument, let's say there was a fight.
Oh no, she's got the Ben Shapiro ass.
And for the sake of the argument, let's say, hypothetically, for the sake of the argument, that Detective Gumshoe did not hear a struggle. Well, then, have you considered the fact that, hypothetically, Detective Gumshoe is fucking retarded, and therefore, anything he heard must have been the opposite of what actually happened. So, in fact, if Detective Gumshoe claims, hypothetically, that he didn't hear a struggle, then that means that, according to this, in this hypothetical scenario that we have constructed, for the sake of the argument, we can say that there must have been a struggle, and therefore, my argument is correct. Case closed, because I like to talk fast.
Maybe Benny Boy should get himself a whip. That might maybe that can like the whole beard thing. I don't know. I think he looks better with the baby face. He looks better with the baby face. The whole beard to try to make himself look more manly. It looks off. It looks off. I mean, it's not good. It's not good. I think maybe if he wants to look a bit more badass, maybe he should invest in a whip. Just saying. Maybe a little frilly thing on his on his jacket.
Let's say there wasn't a fight. How then did Mr. Rel get his hands on the knife?
Mr. Faraday's bag was sitting right here in lobby number 2. It's not hard to imagine that perhaps Mr. Rel saw a chance and took it at some point.
So, what you're saying is this. Mr. Rel took a chance when he saw the opportunity and took the knife from the bag. And then Mr. Faraday shot Mr. Rel after being stabbed.
Isn't there something strange in Franziska's statement just now? Yeah, died instantly. Oh wait, something doesn't add up.
Oh, really?
It's simply not possible for Mr. Faraday to have shot Mr. Rel after being stabbed. Right, because he died instantly.
Take that!
According to the coroner's report, Mr. Faraday died instantly, meaning that he died immediately upon being stabbed by the knife. Ergo, he could not have possibly fired the gun after that.
Oh, you got me.
Wasn't this literally your original argument? But of course.
Well then, if the report is correct, then there's only one correct explanation. It was supposed that Mr. Rel attacked first. And Mr. Faraday, who died instantaneously, would have been unable to kill Mr. Rel. Therefore, Mr. Rel must have stabbed Mr. Faraday after he was shot. Then they both died. That's the only explanation that makes logical sense.
Negating your opponent's ideas in order to prove your own theory.
I see you've been studying, Franziska.
Just wanted to explain it to you as simply as possible, before you foolishly propose a foolish theory that only a foolish fool like you could.
How naive of you to believe that only your opinions are valid, and still expect to discover the truth that the crime scene offers to you. Franziska, you've still got a ways to go.
What are you talking about? Are you saying there's a flaw in my logic?
Mr. Faraday died instantly, and the fact that he did is what gives rise to the contradiction in this scene. The contradiction here in the crime scene is
The order of events, the order of the evidence bags locations. Yeah, it's the order that the bodies fell in. Right, the whole crime scene was constructed after the fact by some mysterious third person. Let me get this straight. What you're arguing is this. Mr. Faraday took the gun from his evidence bag and shot Miss Sorrel. Then the wounded Miss Sorrel found an opportunity to take the knife and strike back. Upon being stabbed, Mr. Faraday died on the spot, and Miss Sorrel died thereafter. If that's the case, then how do you explain this? Well, take a good look at the order in which the bodies are piled.
No!
Mr. Faraday's body is lying on top of Mr. Rell's. Therefore,
Mr. Rell must have died before Mr. Faraday.
Impossible!
yes, I agree that it seems strange no matter what angle you approach it from. Which means that the real mystery behind this crime scene...
No! Not so fast, Miles Edgeworth.
What now?
I simply think that you ought to think a little bit more outside the box. And that it's even clearer now that the incident started with Mr. Faraday's murderous intent.
She sure bounced back quickly. An explanation won't be enough this time. It's going to take some very decisive evidence to prove her wrong.
I'd like to see her show evidence for once. What happened? Part 2.
It's just chance that Mr. Faraday's body fell on top of Mr. Rell's. The two bodies fell into a pile, which indicates that they attacked each other at the same time. It really doesn't matter in the slightest that they fell in the opposite order.
I mean, I guess I suppose if they ended up falling at exactly the same time.
I just know that Franziska's explanation isn't absolutely correct. All I have to do is find a hole in her logic. Once I do, I can then present her with evidence that proves the contradiction.
We've been on a roll. I don't think we've gotten anything wrong so far, but this is been a pretty easy case so far. So it's like the fact that this crime scene was constructed artificially was just very clear from the start. I feel like as soon as I saw those bags, I feel like I called the fact that the crime scene was constructed. That being said, there's still obviously more to the case, because after we figure out that the crime scene is constructed, then comes the actual real investigation, figuring out what actually happened, right? Right now, we're just peeling away the layers of lies. But even after we peel away all the layers, we still will need to look for the truth. And I think that's where the real challenge will come from. Because so far, I don't have any indications for what could have happened. None of our evidence seems to be related to the real situation here.
Hold it!
About that,
Pressing someone's testimony in order to gain some time to think. You're a real one-trick pony, aren't you? It's too bad your trick only works on fools.
that wasn't my intent. I simply wish for more details as to how Faraday ended up on top of Miss Sorrel.
Someone's impatient. I was just about to explain everything to you. So do you think you could hold on for a minute?
Ah! Franziska, I'll make you a deal. I'll hold on if you hold on to that whip of yours.
Oh, I'll hold onto it all right, as I whip you.
Ah!
Oh, now that you've quieted down a bit, I'd like to continue if you don't mind.
Two bodies fell into a pile, right? Well, I mean, we know that. Oh, well, no, they didn't, but it seems like that's what happened.
The two fell on top of each other. Did you find that just a bit strange?
Not at all.
Ah!
I can see it in her eyes. She's dead set against me from the bottom of her heart.
Miles Edgeworth, once I'm done here, you'll see that there's nothing strange at all. Now then, the two men fell into a pile.
Which indicates that they attacked each other at the same time. What do you mean by they attacked each other at the same time?
I assume Mr. Faraday had the two different weapons in his hands.
Why?
He meant to attack Mr. Rel while holding both the knife and the revolver. And then, after Mr. Faraday fired the gun, Mr. Rel grabbed the knife as he was falling and stabbed Mr. Faraday. That is how Mr. Rel wound up on the bottom with Mr. Faraday on top. At close range, that is more than possible.
This is some... Frankie? Frankie? Could we get some evidence here? Some evidence would be nice. Yes, it's possible, but...
Well, if you have any other ideas, then show me what you've got.
Oh, I will. And to that extent, I'd like for you to append what you just said to your testimony.
I don't see any point to that. What does he please?
In the case that they attacked each other at the same time from close range. Ah, yes, that's a contradiction because of the distance of the gunshot.
Hold it!
Just saying that they attacked each other at the same time from close range. I want to hear you say it a couple of times. I want to, savor the moment for a second before I actually prove you wrong and show you to be a fool in front of Detective Bad over there, because I've now made it my life's mission to prove to Detective Bad that I, myself, am bad.
Exactly. Mr. Faraday pointed the gun at Mr. Rel's chest and pulled the trigger. Mr. Rel then took the knife from Mr. Faraday and stabbed him before he fell unconscious. The dead Mr. Faraday instantly fell on top of Mr. Rel from the stabbing, hitting Mr. Rel under him, where he died shortly thereafter. And that's how they ended up on top of each other with no contradictions to be seen.
All in her mind? I mean, yeah, literally, this is all in her mind. She's just making shit up at this point. None of the slightest that they've...
But hey, you know what? Frankie, you're not using evidence very well, but hey, at least you're constructing a rational argument.
Which is more than a certain coffee-drinking prosecutor can do.
I'm never gonna let that go, by the way. I will keep clowning on Gatto's prosecutorial skills for the rest of the time. I'm to this day baffled by how bad that man is at his job. Well, I mean, it's not his job. He's just some random vagabond that broke into a courtroom, and everyone just kind of assumed he was supposed to be there.
Hold it!
Do you really believe that they fell in the exact opposite order in which they attacked?
Miles Edgeworth, you're not listening to a word I'm saying. Both attacked each other at the same time, and Mr. Rel fell first by chance, leaving Mr. Faraday to just happen to fall on top of him. And Mr. Rel died shortly thereafter, pinned underneath Mr. Faraday. That's how it happened.
Well, the two men attacked each other, and with Mr. Rel randomly falling down first. The fact the order they attacked each other in varies from the order they fell in doesn't cause a problem for me. However, there's definitely a certain aspect that I'm having trouble swallowing. Close range, obviously, gun.
Objection!
So you believe they killed each other at close range? I'm sorry, but that's impossible. Just as it is written on the crime scene notes. The firing of the handgun did not leave a gunpowder burn on Mr. Rel's clothes. Therefore, Mr. Rel and the gun must have been separated by a distance of at least 2 or 3 yards.
He didn't use point-blank range this time. I'm so proud of him. He's learning.
This is by far the biggest contradiction. The two bodies are piled up at each other, yet the gun was fired from a distance. Nor with there being no chance Mr. Rel moved that far after being shot. That leaves only one possible explanation.
What a completely foolish line of foolish thought from a thoroughly foolish fool! If I'm not right, then who was it that made the first move with the intent to kill, huh? Who?
It was Rel. He killed Faraday. And then someone else killed Rel.
The person that attacked first was murderous intent.
I guess the third attack assailant could be the person that killed both of them? But I think the most likely scenario here is that Rel killed Faraday. And then a third person then killed Rel, but I mean, I suppose it's also possible. Do you have anything that indicates who actually attacked first? Because, okay, we know soon after the gun was fired, things happened. So, Rel couldn't have been shot. So it's not like the man could have... Rel could have been shot and then afterwards Faraday gets stabbed. Because there's just not enough time to do all that. You know, there's not enough time to stab Faraday and then, you know, set up the crime scene and then make the escape out of it. So, Faraday must have been the one that was killed first. And I think Rel must have attacked him first, because Rel had the knife, right? Okay, I'm proud of Aaron as he shuffles. And like, yeah, we have no evidence of there being a third man right now. It's obvious that a third man must have been the one to kill Rel. But, I mean, I guess it is possible for a third man to have killed both of them. First Faraday and then Rel, but I have no evidence for that, so I think it has to be Rel.
Mr. Rel, of course.
You know, your foolishly foolish, foolhardy ideas making me feel just as foolish as you. The murder weapon used in the case were taken straight from Mr. Faraday's bag. The fact that Mr. Faraday had items that could be used to kill in his possession is something Mr. Rel wouldn't have known.
No, that is a good point.
He is right, of course. Mr. Rel would have known what's inside Faraday's bag. I have to rethink this carefully. Attacked first with murderous intent. That would be...
a third person? Because it can't be Faraday.
Here in this room. Contradictions appear no matter which man we claim attacked first. Thus, there can be only one explanation. There was a third person here.
Oh, she not ready? She realized she not built for this. She realized we're playing on a level above
anything her puny little 13-year-old brain can muster. Stand back, child. Let the professionals work.
It was the third person who killed both Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rel, and set their bodies up to make it look like a double murder. That third person is the real culprit.
Miles Edgeworth, there's just one thing you're missing.
Evidence, correct?
Exactly. Everything you've said up until now is nothing but a story played out in your head.
And what have you been doing so far? Because that seems eerily close to how you've been arguing.
However, this is where the real test begins. Can you prove that there was a third person involved in this crime?
Of course. If a third person was truly here, that fact would resolve the glaring contradiction. The proof that this has all been a setup made to look like they killed each other. I'll present it and lay bare the final piece of the puzzle that's not yet in place. What is the piece of evidence that proves there's a third person involved? The incident overview, the handgun, the knife.
It could be the plastic bag. It's either the bag or the fountain pen, I think. But I think it has to be the bag.
That seems more likely. The gun in Mr. Faraday's hand, the plastic bag with his blood on it. These two items point to the presence of a third person.
How so?
Recall Detective Gumshoe's testimony.
He was in the hallway the whole time, man. You're a single people of the struggle.
If there wasn't a struggle in this room, then there shouldn't be any plastic bags on the ground, meaning that someone else must have deliberately scattered them around. Man, I mean, this is such sloppy work constructing a murder scene, truly. I mean, if they were truly going to make it look like a struggle, they could have at least faked a couple of "ah" cries to, you know, make it a bit more convincing. I mean, they must have known Gumshoe was out there listening. This is just a massive oversight. Do you not see the possibility in this? Disregarding the gun for the moment, there's a high probability of blood splatter when a knife is used on a person. If the culprit held the knife with a plastic bag around it, they could use the bag to catch any blood splatter from when they withdrew the knife.
Oh, is the blood on the inside? I thought the blood was on the outside of the bag. Yeah, because it says blood on it, not in it. So I assumed the blood was on the outside of the bag. But yes, if the blood is on the inside of the bag, that makes a lot more sense.
And then by spreading a few more plastic bags around, mixing the bloody one in with them, and arranging the room to make it look like there was a struggle between the two, they were able to conceal their presence.
Oh, he writing.
Looks like he's still got a long way to go in this investigation.
Yes.
Objection!
The fuck was that? You know what the heck's up with you, pal? The judge is fuming. Look at him. So I think this is the first, this is the first time we've seen the judge in his full glory.
Mr. Bad, I advise you to place Detective Gumshoe under arrest.
What?
What's the meaning of this?
Looks like you're not man enough to discipline your own subordinates.
Don't you dare.
A detective claims he was there, standing in front of the door the entire time. But I have it in good authority that it was all a giant lie.
Miss Yu, I ask that you please explain the last statement.
I mean, the only person that I think now that could have, well, the only two people here that I don't know. Well, okay, if we just go through the organizer, right? People that it could have been. Not Manfred, we were with him the whole time. Dead. Dead man. Dead. Maybe, but also probably him. So probably dead. She is also that one, but not yet, and child, so no. Though I'm interested to see what the dollar bill was about. The judge age question mark. Yeah, no. Though that would be one hell of a twist. I can't wait for the final Ace Attorney game where it turns out the judge is like a criminal mastermind that's been orchestrating everything from behind the scenes. And then you have to take him down. He's like the fucking final boss. I can't wait, dude. That's why his age is question mark. Because he's actually like a demigod that's been alive for thousands of years, manipulating criminal elements throughout the ages. Even all the way back in Great Ace Attorney. Even back in those days, he was manipulating everything from behind the scenes. It all makes sense. Callisto Yu, she's probably one of my suspects right now. I wouldn't say my biggest suspect because I don't really have any evidence that actually points to her, but she's one of the few people that I think could do it. Killing the defendant Rel. Yeah, I don't know why she would, like, what's her motive for killing? I mean, I guess motive for killing opposing counsel is to win the case, but if you're also killing your own client, that's kind of a moot point. So I feel like the only things that could, like, maybe I could maybe see her blaming Faraday for the fact that her sister's murder never got solved. Maybe? But I don't know why she'd kill Rel unless it was just like she killed Faraday and then had to kill Rel because he was a witness. I mean, I guess that could work. I don't want her to be the murderer. She's nice. She makes fun of Edgeworth, which is completely just leaves him absolutely shook, which is it's a rare sight to see. Gumshoe, I mean, he could have been, but we know he's not, because unless he's out on parole during the main Ace Attorney games, I don't know how he he got out for extremely good behavior early because he's the best of boys. He also doesn't really have a motive. Bad is a possibility, right? Maybe a detective who just takes his job way too seriously, sees that that this murderer is going to get off scot-free, so he takes it into his own hands to execute justice. I mean, possibly. We don't know where he was at the time of the murder, right? So right now I'm just going by people whose presence was basically unaccounted for. I mean, technically the judge's presence was unaccounted for, but that one doesn't really make sense. So Bad is also a possibility. Manny is also a possibility, right? He was a suspect in the KG8 incident. Yeah, so if he's involved in this smuggling ring, right? I mean, we know he's killed before, allegedly, I suppose, I should say. I don't want to get sued. Maybe something that they were going to testify to in this case could have, right, because Rel trying to argue that Yatagarasu was the one that made him do it. I wonder if that was actually true. I wonder if someone, maybe not Yatagarasu himself, but someone posing as Yatagarasu, tried to go for it, and maybe they're worried that him ratting that out could maybe lead the police eventually on the trail, so he rubs him out and rubs possibly the real Yatagarasu, because he had stolen some files related to the smuggling ring. So I could definitely see this one. Also in this picture, he looks like fucking Satan. I mean, come on, she's definitely the killer. So yeah, right now there's only 3 people here that realistically could have done it. Well, 4 if you count Yatagarasu, but Yatagarasu is more of a, I don't think it make, from everything we know about Yatagarasu, murder doesn't seem like the right MO. Also, burn is probably Yatagarasu. So, I don't think so maybe, but I don't think it really works. So that means the only 3 people that are legitimately a possibility are Callisto, Bad, and Manny. And they all have plausible motives, nothing concrete, mind you, right? I think Callisto definitely has the strongest motive, but I think more than anything, she has a motive against Manny, since he's the one that supposedly killed her sister. Not against Burn and Mac, although I suppose Mac and Manny are working for the same international smuggling ring, so I can see her trying to kill Mac. I don't know and Burn maybe for letting her sister get, I don't know. I think, right, okay, if we're going just based on, alright, motive, opportunity, decisive evidence. Who has a motive? You have the strongest motive, I'd say. You maybe have a slight motive, maybe, and you probably have a motive, although I'm not, and yeah, so those 3 are the only people with motives, right? Then they're also, opportunity, also you have to add Yatagarasu, Kay, the judge, but those don't really make much sense. So it has to be one of those 3, and I think it's probably leaning towards Callisto right now, because she just seems the most, because this would be ridiculous, first of all. He just seems too obvious, but maybe. Plus, he only shows up until afterwards, but I don't know. Maybe... I don't know. But yeah, so this chapter, this part of the investigation, I think, is about to end, so this will actually be a really good place to stop. Miss Yu, I ask that you please explain that last statement.
I'll let His Honor explain it himself.
I saw it with my own eyes, I'll tell you. During the recess, there was a period of time when there was no one in the hallway.
Yeah, what? See, Mr. Bad? So I ask you, why would a detective who's supposedly doing his job the whole time want to fabricate such a lie?
Gumshoe, did you kill Faraday?
Yeah, no! Yeah, of course not, sir! It would appear that one who set up the whole crime scene is the detective, which is basically renders his testimony a complete lie and wholly invalid. It looks like your perfect logic just came tumbling down, Miles. What? But if he set up the crime scene, then that still means he's the murderer. He's in the hallway all the time, but ain't here. Single people struggle.
Was that statement really a lie?
Detective Gumshoe, you're now a suspect in the murder of 2 men. Now spit out the truth, or so help me.
I haven't liked anyone, sir. Honest. I was really there. I was in the hallway the whole time.
Detective Bad, I ask that you please do not act without my permission. After all, I'm the one that is heading up this investigation. Am I not?
There's the Edgeworth we know and love. He was starting to shine through at some earlier points there, but this is him. This is our boy.
Don't talk like you know what's going on, boy.
All I want is for this investigation to run perfectly.
I really need to go to the bathroom, so can we wrap this part up quickly? Perfection is the only wish of a disciple of Von Karma, after all.
Therefore, before you take Detective Gumshoe into custody, I'd like to set the record straight on something.
And what's that?
What should I ask Detective Gumshoe about?
Okay, yeah, no, we have to stop it here. I have to go. We're gonna leave this here, or I'm gonna shit my pants. Oh my god, what did I eat? Oh god, please don't tell me I have food poisoning again. Oh, for fuck's sake. That was not fun the last time. Alright, we're gonna leave this off here. It's a bit of a rushed ending, but it's about to be an emergency in my bathroom. Sorry you had to hear that, but I'm in a lot of pain right now, and I'm just saying the first things that come to mind. So we will be live probably on Saturday or Sunday playing some Persona. So be there. Thank you for watching. I'm